Pregnant with twins, the Pure Campus Belle burst into tears. 2 months ago, just before graduation, Lin Xuan got drunk and accidentally spent the night with the Pure Campus Belle of Jinghai University. You bullied me, and this child is yours. Lin Xuan was shocked. Am I going to be a dad? Ding! The God-level daddy system is connecting. Congratulations, host. The God-level daddy system has been activated. No need to doubt, the child in front of you is your masterpiece. And it's twins, a boy and a girl. Chapter 1, Becoming a Dad by Surprise. Huh. What is this heavy thing on me? I can't breathe properly. Suddenly, Lin Xuan realized something was wrong and quickly opened his eyes. He saw a stunningly beautiful woman, with a graceful figure, exquisite features, fair skin, and long, shiny black hair casually scattered around her shoulders, lying on top of him. Her delicate lips, like rose petals, were so soft and inviting, making him want to kiss her immediately. What's going on? How did I end up in bed with a woman? Is that Li Mengyao? The Pure Campus Belle of Jinghai University. Lin Xuan vaguely recalled last night's dorm party. He wasn't sure who suggested going to the bar, but he ended up paying for the whole night. Since he couldn't hold his liquor, Lin Xuan got drunk fast, and he vaguely remembered a woman throwing herself into his arms. Sigh. Drunk and lost my virginity. Lin Xuan couldn't help but mutter. Just then, the beautiful woman in his arms stirred. Her big, elegant eyes, framed by long lashes, slowly opened. Their gazes met, and the situation turned awkward. Then, the woman screamed. Li Mengyao quickly sat up, glaring at Lin Xuan. Seeing that Lin Xuan was still staring at her, Li Mengyao, flustered and furious, grabbed a pillow and threw it at him. Stop staring. Turn around, don't look. It took Lin Xuan a moment to snap out of his daze from the earlier scene, nearly nose bleeding. All right, I'm not looking. I'll take responsibility for this. Li Mengyao quickly grabbed her clothes, hurriedly got dressed, and left the room without saying a word. She's leaving? Well, whatever, we're both adults. Lin Xuan wanted to explain, but she didn't give him a chance. He sighed and got up to clean up, but noticed a bright red stain on the bed sheet, very conspicuous. 2 months later. June 2024, Jinghai City People's Hospital. Lin Xuan, number 66, please go to consultation room number 6. The emotionless voice of the hospital's automated announcement echoed through the hall. A man, tall at 182 centimeters, with a handsome face and a well-toned figure, stood up and walked towards the consultation room. 2 young nurses nearby stared at him, their eyes wide. Look, a handsome guy. Quick, take a picture. Wow, he's really handsome. You cover me, I'll snap a shot. Should we ask for his contact info? He's so white and smooth. Let us go, follow him tilde. The 2 nurses rushed to Lin Xuan, and despite their whispers being soft, Lin Xuan still overheard. He was used to this by now. He had often been openly confessed to during college, which always embarrassed him. Hi, could I get your contact info? One of the nurses asked, blushing. Lin Xuan, looking at them with his bright, deep eyes, smiled. Sorry, I like men. After saying this, Lin Xuan bypassed the 2 nurses and quickly entered consultation room 6. Hello, young man, what seems to be bothering you? A middle-aged man in a white lab coat, with a receding hairline, asked as he looked at Lin Xuan. Hello, doctor, I've been having some pain in my liver recently. I'll check your pulse. Okay. Lin Xuan obediently extended his arm. The doctor began checking his pulse, but soon furrowed his brows and sighed lightly. Sigh. Lin Xuan's heart skipped a beat. Could it be something serious? If I'd known, I wouldn't have stayed up late playing games. Doctor, why did you sigh? Is there something wrong? The doctor rubbed his eyes and explained, Huh? No, I'm just tired from work. Young man, you've probably been staying up late too much. Lack of rest is causing this liver pain. Yeah, I've been sleeping late recently. I've been feeling weak. I'll prescribe some herbal medicine for you. Just make sure to rest and take the medicine on time. Young people shouldn't stay up too late, it's bad for your health. Got it, thanks, doctor. After thanking the doctor, Lin Xuan took his prescription and walked to the pharmacy window. He couldn't help but think about how he might have taken on too many projects lately. During the day, he was coding non-stop, and at night, his 3 sons from the dormitory kept pestering him. "Dad, carry me through the rift tonight. Dad, I want to be a god today. Dad, I want to rank higher." Winning meant he was a great dad, losing meant he was a good for nothing. As the strongest in the game, Lin Xuan had to pamper his sons. Looks like he should take on fewer projects in the future. After all, his sons and their gaming needs were more important. Walking past the obstetrics and gynecology department, Lin Xuan casually glanced inside. Suddenly, a familiar yet unfamiliar figure appeared in his view. Li Mengyao, wearing a cream-colored dress and white canvas shoes, stood at 168 centimeters with a perfect figure. Her long, shiny black hair flowed like a waterfall, and her face was slightly flushed as she stared in shock at a medical report in her hands. "It's her? Why is she here in the obstetrics department? Could it be?" Lin Xuan suddenly recalled the night 2 months ago, and a feeling of dread filled him. He rushed forward. The ultrasound report clearly stated, 8 weeks pregnant. Li Mengyao covered her lips, muttering to herself, how could this happen? I got pregnant after just 1 time. Clearly stunned, Li Mengyao didn't notice Lin Xuan approaching. "Is this child mine?" Lin Xuan asked, his face filled with shock. "Are you?" Li Mengyao jumped back in surprise, her body instinctively recoiling. 2 months later, Lin Xuan's face was still unforgettable. The emotions rushed over her, and tears welled up in her eyes as she whispered, "How could you do this to me? This child is yours. I'm going to be a dad. Did I score in 1 shot?" Lin Xuan was stunned. As Li Mengyao continued to cry softly, a strange voice echoed in Lin Xuan's mind. "Ding! The God-level daddy system is connecting. Connection successful. Congratulations, host. You have activated the God-level daddy system. No need to doubt, the child in front of you is your masterpiece. And it's twins, 1 boy and 1 girl. Congratulations, host, on activating the God-level daddy system for the first time. You've received a newbie gift pack. Rewards, 100,000 yuan in child-rearing funds, parenting knowledge encyclopedia, and 100% increase in physical attributes. Please check. Chapter 2, Paternity Test. System. What is a system? Having never read novels on tomato, a reference to a Chinese website, Lin Xuan naturally had no idea what a system was. Ding dong. Lin Xuan opened his phone and saw that 100,000 yuan had been deposited into his Alipay account. Immediately afterward, the most comprehensive pregnancy knowledge suddenly flooded into Lin Xuan's mind. He was now an expert in pregnancy care. Wait, something seems off with my body too. An invisible force surged through his body, as if his meridians had been opened. He was now brimming with strength. He felt as though he could punch a cow into the air. This seems real. The Alipay transfer of 100,000 yuan might be part of a setup, but the pregnancy knowledge and enhanced physical attributes couldn't be faked. How could such a good system fall to me? Am I the chosen one? While Lin Xuan was still basking in the excitement, Li Mengyao, seeing that Lin Xuan was deep in thought and not speaking, choked up and said, "Why, you don't believe me, do you? If you don't believe me, we can do a paternity test." Lin Xuan snapped out of his thoughts and, seeing the school beauty with teary eyes, took out a tissue from his pocket and handed it to her. "Hey, don't cry anymore. Wipe your tears first. I'll take responsibility if this child is mine, no matter what," Lin Xuan said with determination. Although he was amazed by the magical system, Lin Xuan wasn't 100% sure the child was his. These days, many men ended up as adoptive fathers without knowing it. Li Mengyao was taken aback by Lin Xuan's resolute response. She raised her small hand, took the tissue, and gently wiped away her tears. "Okay, let us go now." After 3 long hours of waiting, the doctor slowly announced, "Mr. Lin, the paternity test shows that your match with Ms. Li's baby is 99.99%. Confirmed paternity. Such a young couple preparing to become parents." The doctor couldn't help but comment. But why were they doing a paternity test? Could it be? The doctor looked at Lin Xuan with a peculiar expression. Lin Xuan, pretending to stay calm while holding the test results, couldn't help but break out into a cold sweat. Great, I've really gotten myself into a huge mess. I'm going to be a father. Lin Xuan turned to look at Li Mengyao, whose eyes were red, and felt even more guilty. Thank you, doctor. Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao left the hospital, and it was almost noon by the time they exited. Mengyao, what are you planning to do next? Oh, Tilda. Li Mengyao's stomach let out an unexpected growl. She hadn't eaten breakfast because she had to go to the hospital for her checkup. Her hands instinctively clutched together, and her face flushed a little. Mengyao, let us find a place to eat first. Millimeter Tilda, Li Mengyao nodded. Lin Xuan opened his phone and called for a ride. Within 5 minutes, the car arrived at the hospital entrance. Lin Xuan, ever the gentleman, opened the car door for Li Mengyao. After she sat down, he carefully closed the door, then walked around to the other side and got in. Driver, to Heaping Restaurant. Young man, did you have a fight with your girlfriend? The driver asked, glancing at the two of them through the rearview mirror. He guessed the situation, then started the car, laughing as he spoke. Brother, as someone who has been through it, you gotta pamper your girlfriend more. Lin Xian's face reddened. You're right, that's why we're going to eat now. Lin Xuan turned to look at Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao's elegant eyes blinked, then she turned her face to the window, a faint blush on her beautiful face. Seeing this, Lin Xuan smiled. Here we are. Young man, don't forget to give me a good review. Sure, no problem. Lin Xuan readily agreed. Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao got out of the car and walked quickly into the Heaping Restaurant. This place has great food, it's affordable, and the hygiene is good. I came here often during my 4 years of university, Lin Xuan said, leading Li Mengyao to a seat by the window. Oh, thank you. Lin Xuan handed Li Mengyao the menu with a smile. You must be starving. Order whatever you like, but no raw food, okay. Li Mengyao blinked her eyes, and with a delicate hand, she circled a few items on the menu. I'm done ordering. See if you need anything else. Lin Xuan looked at the menu for a moment and couldn't help but marvel. No wonder the school beauty had such a great figure. She had ordered so little despite not having eaten breakfast. Hello, we'll have one order of tomato beef brisket, shrimp tofu, sweet pepper stir-fried beef, steamed base, and an egg custard. The waiter smiled and said, got it, please wait a moment. Lin Xuan looked at the delicate Li Mengyao. Mengyao, I'll take responsibility. Are you willing to have the baby? Li Mengyao smoothed her silky hair and looked up at him. How do you plan to take responsibility? We haven't graduated yet, we don't have jobs, no stable income. Lin Xuan was a genius at the computer science department of Jinghai University, and he had won the ACM International Collegiate Programming Contest gold medal. He was also very handsome. Li Mengyao was majoring in Chinese literature, and was recognized as the school beauty. They were both seniors, about to graduate. I've done some part-time work from my freshman to junior year, and I've won various scholarships. I've saved up quite a bit of money already. In the future, I'll work even harder to earn money and give you and the baby a warm home. Lin Xuan said all this with great determination, not wanting to give Li Mengyao any chance to refuse. Hearing Lin Xuan say all this in one go, Li Mengyao giggled, her big eyes sparkling with warmth. This is what you said. I'm going to keep the baby. Li Mengyao gently caressed her stomach and smiled. What Lin Xuan didn't know was that Li Mengyao had liked him since her freshman year. Not only was he handsome, but he was also highly talented. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been dragged by her roommate to the bar that night, gotten drunk, and ended up in Lin Xuan's arms. The rest was something that words couldn't quite describe. The dishes are here. The waiter arrived just then. Throughout the meal, Lin Xuan kept filling Li Mengyao's bowl. It was always full. After lunch, the two took a ride back to Jinghai University. Lin Xuan dropped Li Mengyao off at her dorm and said gently, "You've worked hard today. Go back and rest. I'll take you to the hospital for a full checkup tomorrow." Li Mengyao's face lit up with a smile. Okay, Tilda. Lin Xuan smiled back, humming a tune as he walked back to the dorm. When he opened the door to dorm 622, 3 small heads popped up. Lin Xuan, where did you go? Did you go on a date with some junior? You didn't even invite us. Lin Xuan lightly ruffled the heads of his sons. Stay out of adult business. Hey. You think you're so smart, huh? Brothers, let us take him down. And so, a friendly interaction between roommates began. In the afternoon, Lin Xuan continued working on his projects, finishing up early and earning another 10,000 yuan in extra income. Adding to the 100,000 yuan from the system, his little savings account had over 200,000 yuan now. It's time to find a place to rent. Li Mengyao couldn't keep living in the dorm, it's not very convenient for a pregnant woman. At night, Lin Xuan was once again leading his sons through the Summoner's Rift. 5 straight losses. Frustrated, Lin Xuan was about to lie down for some rest. But then, the system chimed again. Ding dong. Detected that their host needs to take the baby for a full checkup. To make it easier for their host to travel, we've rewarded you with a top-tier Xiaomi SU7, which is now parked at Jinghai University C area parking lot. Please check it out. Chapter 3, So are we living together now? This system is quite thoughtful, it even knows exactly what the host needs. A Xiaomi SU7. Is that the Mi Porsche that has been all the rage recently? I'll go check the parking lot tomorrow. The next day, after waking up, Lin Xuan noticed a delicate car key on the table. Without thinking much about it, he picked up the key and headed straight for the school parking lot. Soon, in an inconspicuous corner, Lin Xuan found a Xiaomi SU7 in a beautiful purple hue. He had to admit, the car looked pretty cool. The body lines were sleek, the design simple yet elegant, giving off a fashionable and techy vibe. The radiant purple color added a unique charm, no wonder it's called the king of cost effectiveness. Lin Xuan excitedly opened the car door and sat in the driver's seat. He casually took out his phone and pressed the dial button. Hello, Lin Xuan. Li Mengyao's voice was soft and gentle, as if she had just woken up. Mengyao, are you awake? Lin Xuan asked. Just woke up. She replied sleepily. Well, let us go to the hospital for a checkup. The first 3 months are the most critical. I'll pick you up downstairs, Lin Xuan suggested. Okay, give me a few minutes, I'll get ready. Li Mengyao said, feeling touched. It seemed Lin Xuan cared a lot about her and the baby in her belly. Lin Xuan drove the Xiaomi SU7 to her dorm. On the way, several students pulled out their phones and snapped pictures of the car. Although the top model Xiaomi SU7 only cost around 300,000 renminbi, its appearance alone was enough to grab attention. Soon, Li Mengyao ran down from the dorm. She was wearing a light blue dress, with a pure-colored belt around her waist, adorned with a few crystals, looking both beautiful and graceful. Lin Xuan quickly walked up to her and gently took her hand. Slow down, don't trip. Li Mengyao smiled slightly. It's fine, I'm careful. Sorry to keep you waiting. Lin Xuan stared at her, smiling. You look so beautiful today. Her face flushed slightly as she whispered, what about yesterday? Every day you look even more beautiful. HMPH, you smooth talker. Let us go. All right. Lin Xuan led her to the Xiaomi SU7, opened the door, and said gently, Wifey, please get in. Li Mengyao's face instantly turned red. She muttered softly, Who's your wife? Despite her protests, she obediently sat in the front passenger seat. At that moment, a layer of shy pink spread across her delicate face, like a blooming peach blossom radiantly beautiful. Once Lin Xuan sat in the driver's seat, Li Mengyao couldn't resist asking, Lin Xuan, did you just buy this car? Yep. Mengyao, you have a driver's license, right? Yes, Li Mengyao nodded. Well, from now on, this car's yours to drive. It'll be convenient for traveling, and it's better for you and the baby. No, I am not good at driving yet. And if I take it, you won't have a car anymore, so just drive it yourself. Li Mengyao shook her head gently. I have other cars. It's settled then. I'll teach you how to drive it later. After saying that, Lin Xuan started the car and headed towards the People's Hospital of Jinghai City. Lin Xuan's other cars were actually his trusty electric scooter, which had been with him for over 3 years. At the hospital, Lin Xuan stayed with Li Mengyao for her checkup. At 8 weeks of pregnancy, no special checks were needed. First, she had an ultrasound to check the size of the pregnancy sac and whether it matched the gestational age, and to see if there were any signs of embryonic development and heartbeat. Then she went through some routine tests, including a blood test, urine test, hepatitis screening, blood sugar levels, and liver function. Before long, the test results were out, and everything with the embryo was perfectly normal. Just as Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao were about to leave, a familiar figure appeared in front of them. Xian Ji, what are you doing here? Zhu Quan, Lin Xian's roommate, asked, eyeing them curiously. Zhu Quan had come to the hospital for a checkup and, unexpectedly, ran into Lin Xuan, especially in the obstetrics and gynecology department. I'll be right back. Lin Xuan smiled at Li Mengyao. Okay tilde, Li Mengyao responded softly. Quan what are you doing here? Lin Xuan slowly walked toward Zhu Quan. Look at you, buddy. You've hooked up with the campus goddess behind everyone's back. No wonder you've been sneaking around lately. And now you're in the obstetrics department, spill it. Tell me everything. Zhu Quan grinned mischievously. Tonight, we'll go somewhere, and I'll treat you guys. And don't forget, you need to call her sister-in-law. You said it. Just wait until we feast on you. How dare you keep quiet about such big things? All right, go back to your checkup. I'll talk to you guys tonight. Before leaving, Zhu Quan turned to Li Mengyao, who was a bit farther away, and called out, "Goodbye, sister-in-law." Then, he disappeared in a flash. Lin Xuan returned to Li Mengyao's side, and saw her face turning slightly red. He my roommate. It's getting late, let us head back, Lin Xuan said. Okay tilde, Li Mengyao blinked her beautiful eyes. Ding dong. Detecting that their host is taking the baby for the first checkup. Reward, a penthouse in Building A, 1601, Jinghai Residences, fully furnished. All the paperwork has been handled for you, and you can move in anytime. Ding dong. Detecting that their host has gifted the Xiaomi SU7 to Li Mengyao, hidden system reward unlocked. Reward, a Maybach S680. The car is parked in the Jinghai Residences parking lot. Please check it out. Host, as long as you ensure Li Mengyao and the baby's happiness, the system will continue providing generous rewards. The system's crisp voice echoed in Lin Xian's mind. This system is too amazing. Let us not even talk about the 3 million renminbi Maybach S680. Jinghai Residences is also one of the most upscale neighborhoods in Jinghai City, and that penthouse is worth over 8 million renminbi. Lin Xian's net worth has already reached nearly 10 million renminbi. He has suddenly entered the ranks of the rich, and he is absolutely thrilled inside. It's all thanks to Li Mengyao. If she hadn't agreed to keep the baby, Lin Xuan wouldn't have received such blessings from the system. Mengyao, let us go. Lin Xuan snapped back to reality and said to the slightly drowsy Li Mengyao. She must not have gotten enough sleep this morning. Pregnancy usually makes one more prone to sleepiness. Lin Xuan gently took her pale hand, smiling at her. The moment his hand touched hers, it was soft and tender. Li Mengyao was startled awake by the sudden hand-holding, and a blush spread across her face. At the same time, she also felt a little happiness. Millimeter, let us go. They returned to the Xiaomi SU7. Lin Xuan started the car, and Li Mengyao fell asleep in the passenger seat. If Li Mengyao had been awake, she would have noticed that Lin Xuan had bypassed Jinghai University and was speeding without breaking the speed limit down the streets of Jinghai City. Welcome home, distinguished owner of Jinghai Residences. A cheerful voice woke Li Mengyao from her slumber. Huh? Where is this? We're not at school. Li Mengyao rubbed her eyes with a hand, then froze when she saw the tall buildings in front of her. This isn't school. It's Jinghai Residences, our future home. Lin Xuan smiled gently. Future home? You bought a house? Li Mengyao asked, her eyes wide with shock. Yes. With you pregnant, it wouldn't be convenient to stay in the dorms. And since we're about to graduate. So, I bought a place. It'll be more convenient for me to take care of you both. Lin Xuan gazed at her with tenderness. That must have cost a lot of money. Where did you get all that from? Li Mengyao asked, slightly puckered lips. I forgot to mention, I've been investing since my freshman year. This is all from the profits. Lin Xuan said confidently. So, let us move in once we find the time. Li Mengyao's pretty face turned red. Are they living together? Chapter 4, Li's mother calls. Is this too fast? This is only the second time we met, and we are already living together. While Li Mengyao was still daydreaming, Lin Xuan had already parked the car steadily in the community parking lot. Seeing that Li Mengyao was still worried and cute, Lin Xuan couldn't help but reach out and gently pinch her snow-white and soft face. "Wife, what are you thinking about so intently?" Lin Xuan said gently. "Who is your wife?" Not yet." Li Mengyao's face turned red instantly. She slapped the dirty hands on her face with one hand, raised the other hand and ran towards the soft flesh on Lin Xuan's waist, then twisted it hard. Hiss. It hurts, be gentle, honey. You're still screaming." Li Mengyao pretended to increase her strength. How could Lin Xuan give her a chance? He grabbed her pink and tender hand and smiled. "Stop messing around, let's go up and take a look at the house." Li Mengyao pouted slightly and then stopped. The two got out of the car, and Li Mengyao soon discovered that there was a slender Maybach S680 parked not far away. It was indeed a high-end residential area, and it was obvious at first glance that it was a luxury car. Lin Xuan naturally saw it as well, but did not say anything. He reached out and held Li Mengyao's hand and walked towards the elevator. Soon, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao arrived at the house in Jinghai Mansion. It was a large flat with an area of 200 square meters. The decoration style was modern and simple, with a combination of grey and white colors. It had 5 bedrooms and 2 living rooms, and the furniture was also fully matched. Li Mengyao walked to the large balcony and saw the afterglow of the river, covering the surface of the river with a layer of golden gauze. The June wind blows gently across the girl's face, making the whole picture warm and romantic. Seeing such a beautiful scene, Lin Xuan finally couldn't help but step forward, stretching out his hands and gently holding Li Mengyao in his arms. Li Mengyao was startled at first, but did not struggle. Instead, her delicate face flushed again and she asked softly, "This house must have cost a lot of money." "Well, more than 8 million. Lin Xuan savored the fragrance of the girl. "You bought a car and a house, but I can't give you anything. I feel so useless." Li Mengyao murmured with her head down. Lin Xuan gently turned Li Mengyao around, looked at her with his deep and bright eyes, and said in a firm tone, "Who said it's useless? You and the baby in your belly are the greatest gifts. Wife, you gave me a home. I will also do my best to protect this home." Deep in love, Lin Xuan looked at Li Mengyao with misty and affectionate eyes, slowly lowered his head, and slowly approached that tempting cherry mouth. Li Mengyao was also panicked for a moment, her heart started beating wildly, she closed her eyes tightly, and let Lin Xuan do whatever he wanted. Suddenly, a cell phone ring interrupted the two of them. Li Mengyao regained her senses instantly, gently pushed Lin Xuan away, and said hurriedly, "I have a call." Li Mengyao opened her cell phone in panic. It was a call from her mother Huang Shifang. She pressed the answer button. "Hello Tilda. Yao, what have you been busy with recently?" Mom, I haven't been busy lately." Li Mengyao explained in panic. "Why are you speaking in a panic? Are you hiding something from Mom?" Her precious daughter knows herself best and she knew something was wrong with her tone just now. "Did someone bully you?" "No." Because Lin Xuan was very close, he could clearly hear the conversation between the two. Seeing Li Mengyao's nervous look, Lin Xuan couldn't help but laugh out loud. Li Mengyao glared at him, then raised her jade hand and twisted it around Lin Xuan's waist again. Hiss. "Does Yao have a boyfriend?" When Li's mother heard the boy's voice next to her daughter, she had already guessed the general situation. Li Mengyao blushed and said hesitantly. "Okay, it's time to find a boyfriend in college." "What's he like?" "He is very nice." "Then if you are free next week, bring him back and I will take a good look at him for you." Her daughter, who was studying in another city, suddenly had a boyfriend. It would be a lie to say that she was not worried. Mother Li had to check it herself. "Then I'll ask him later." "Okay, then I won't bother you anymore." After hanging up the phone, Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xuan with a fierce look. "It's all your fault. My mom found out. It's just a matter of time." "I'm ready to have my legs broken," Lin Xuan said shamelessly. "Then will you accompany me back next week?" Li Mengyao clenched her hands tightly. "Let's go back together. We stole someone's precious daughter, so naturally we have to visit them in person. Let's prepare to move in tomorrow." Lin Xuan said gently. "Okay Tilda," Li Mengyao smiled sweetly. Afterwards, the two prepared to drive to a nearby shopping mall to eat. When they arrived at the parking lot downstairs, Li Mengyao was about to take out the car keys but was stopped by Lin Xuan. Just park this Xiaomi SU7 in the community parking lot and drive my car there. Do you have other cars? Li Mengyao asked puzzledly. Yes, this is it. Lin Xuan pointed to the Maybach S680 not far away, took out the car key and unlocked it. The car started, and a pair of headlights emitted a unique beam of light, dazzling like a meteor shower. So this Maybach is yours? Li Mengyao opened her lips slightly and blinked her big, round almond eyes. Lin Xuan held Li Mengyao's hand and walked to the passenger seat. After settling her down, he sat in the driver's seat, started the car, and drove towards the mall. When they arrived at the destination, Li Mengyao couldn't help but ask, "What else are you hiding from me?" "No, didn't I tell you before that I have other cars to drive?" Lin Xuan said gently. "But I think this car looks like new. I just washed the car yesterday." Lin Xuan answered firmly. He couldn't say that it was given by the system. "HMPH, I'll just believe you for now. I don't like people lying to me, especially people close to me." Li Mengyao lowered her head and said in a low voice, "Wife, I will definitely consult you when I have something to discuss next time, okay?" Tilde. Because Li Mengyao likes to eat fish, the two walked hand in hand into a grilled fish restaurant in the mall. After lunch, Li Mengyao was already drowsy. Lin Xuan drove her back to the school dormitory, and he also returned to the doghouse where he had lived in college for more than 3 years. "Kids, Daddy is back." Lin Xuan kicked the door open and said with a smile. It was him who abducted the school beauty. Zhu Quan pointed at Lin Xuan in pretended anger. "Good boy, you actually dare to do something big behind your father's back." Zhang Zixing also echoed. "If you tell the truth, we might give you a lighter sentence," Chen Jinming said with a sly smile. Afterwards, Lin Xuan was surrounded by 3 people again. Chapter 5 5-Star Chef. Lin Xuan told the whole story truthfully. They were brothers who had lived together for almost 4 years and knew each other well, so they didn't hide anything. Of course, the system didn't mention this, and the key is that no one would believe it. This is the situation. Lin Xuan shrugged. Did I hear it right?" Zhang Zixing said in shock. "I was wondering why I saw you and the school beauty in the obstetrics and gynecology department of the People's Hospital. It turns out that..." Zhu Quan was also stunned. "Wow, you're driving a rocket, so fast. My girlfriend and I have been dating for 2 years and we haven't reached that stage yet." Chen Jingming put one hand on Lin Xuan's shoulder and laughed. "Keep it a secret for me first. I don't want to become the public enemy of all the boys in the school. Mengyao and I are going to move out tomorrow. I'll pay for everything tonight." Lin Xuan said with a smile. "Stop talking nonsense, log in first, and I'll give you a good meal tonight." It is normal for senior students to move out, so no one asked Lin Xuan where he moved to, thinking that he just found a rental house nearby. "Quanner, save your ultimate move for the new year. You don't understand. I'm just biding my time." At night, dormitory 622 went out together. Zhu Quan just opened his phone to call a taxi but was stopped by Lin Xuan. "Let's drive over there." "Where did we get the car?" Zhu Quan asked puzzledly. "I just bought it. Please don't move around here. I'll be back soon." Just when the 3 were still curious about what type of car Lin Xuan bought, a slender Maybach slowly drove over, rolled down the window, and revealed a handsome face. "Get in the car. Isn't this a Maybach? A luxury car worth more than 3 million. Brother Xian, are you so rich? Why did you seem so stingy and secretive before?" The 3 of them were confused. "My family just bought it. It will be convenient for taking care of the baby in the future," Lin Xuan explained with a smile. Afterwards, Lin Xuan drove to the restaurant where he often had dinner parties in the university dormitory. "Now that you are here, please take a seat. I have reserved a private room for you. Are you about to graduate from college?" the proprietress greeted warmly. "Yes, you can come here often even after graduation," Zhu Quan said with a smile. "Just don't forget it when the time comes, I'll give you a discount," the proprietress said with a smile. This restaurant has unique flavors, and the proprietress often gives discounts to Lin Xuan and his friends, so the dormitory often comes here for dinner. After the boss lady left, Lin Xuan said to the three people, "You are about to graduate from college, what are you going to do next?" "I have signed up for the civil service examination and joined the army of candidates. I will become a civil servant in the future," Zhu Quan said firmly. "My girlfriend and I have both been admitted to graduate school and will continue to study at Jinghai University in the future." Chen Jingming said with a smile. "I am planning to start my own business, but unfortunately I don't have the platform and funds. I'd better go to a company first." Zhang Zixin said helplessly. "Brother Xian, what about you? What are you planning to do after graduation?" Zhu Quan looked at Lin Xuan. "I'll take care of the baby full-time first." Lin Xuan said with a smile. "You deserve to die, you're being Versailles again," Zhu Quan complained. In fact, Lin Xuan originally wanted to start a business with Zhang Zixin. After all, the two of them were among the best in the School of Computer Science at Jinghai University. But plans can't keep up with changes. Now Lin Xuan just wants to take care of Li Mengyao and the baby in her belly wholeheartedly. He can only wait for an opportunity in the future. Serve the food. The four of them devoured the meal. The next day, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao agreed to move their luggage to Jinwan Mansion together at 10 o'clock in the morning. Lin Xuan drove the Maybach slowly towards the female dormitory and soon saw a familiar figure downstairs of the dormitory. Today, Li Mengyao wore a solid color shirt with a denim skirt, which looked fresh and pleasant, like the cool breeze in the morning, refreshing. "My wife looks good in everything she wears, huh? Why is there another girl next to her? She is tall, with delicate features, showing a cold beauty, and her sharp eyes reveal a hint of hostility." Lin Xuan opened the car door, walked quickly to Li Mengyao, gently took her little hand, and said tenderly, "I said I'd call you down after I arrived. Have you been waiting too long?" Li Mengyao's face flushed slightly. "No, we just came down too. By the way, this is my roommate Liu Yusen. She insisted on coming along." "Hello, I'm Lin Xuan, Li Mengyao's husband." Lin Xuan said with a smile. "It was you who kidnapped my Yao Yao," he said angrily when he saw Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao holding hands. Liu Yusen saw that Lin Xuan was indeed very handsome and drove a Maybach, so she thought that his family conditions must be good. However, many rich second generations are very fickle nowadays. As Yao Yao's best friend, she must keep a close eye on him. "Yes, Yao Yao will be left to me from now on," Lin Xuan said with a firm face. "You wish. If you want to get Yao Yao, you have to get past me first. Aren't you going to let Yao Yao move over? I want to go and see for myself whether you can take good care of Yao Yao." After Liu Yusen finished speaking, she pulled Yao Yao's suitcase and walked towards the car. Lin Xuan looked helpless and followed behind holding Li Mengyao's hand. This time, Li Mengyao did not sit in the passenger seat, but sat in the back seat with Liu Yusen. The car started slowly and soon arrived at the gate of Jinwan Mansion. Liu Yusen looked at the gate in front of her with a surprised look on her face. Jinwanfu is a famous high-end residential area in Jinghai City. It has a beautiful environment and is located in a prosperous area. You can also see the beautiful river view. Although Lin Xuan's ability is indeed good, it is unclear how he will treat Yao Yao, and whether he will get tired of the old and love the new. Soon, Lin Xuan parked the car and moved all the luggage into their house. Ding dong, it is detected that their host is moving for the baby for the first time. In order for their host to take better care of the baby in the future, I will reward you with a complete set of 5-star cooking skills. Please check it out. In an instant, all kinds of culinary knowledge from all over the world flooded into Lin Xuan's brain. Now Lin Xuan is the most versatile 5-star chef. In fact, Lin Xuan has always been reluctant to let Li Mengyao eat outside food. After all, she is pregnant. What if the food outside is not clean and affects the baby? This 5-star cooking skill comes at the perfect time. It's almost time for lunch, so I'll show off my cooking skills at noon. Wife, you and your bestie should rest at home for a while. I'll go to the market to buy some vegetables. Also, what do you want to eat? Lin Xuan asked with a smile. You can also cook. Liu Yusen looked at her with doubt. There are really few men who can cook nowadays. I'm fine with it. I like everything you do. A hint of happiness flashed across Li Mengyao's face. Yao Yao, I'm still here. Liu Yusen looked at Li Mengyao speechlessly, and then said, I want sweet and sour pork ribs, boiled pork slices, braised beef brisket with potatoes, and braised fish. These are Li Mengyao's favorite dishes. Okay, I'll be back soon. Lin Xuan put on his shoes and prepared to go out. Suddenly, a petite figure broke into Lin Xuan's arms, accompanied by a faint fragrance. Come back early. Li Mengyao lowered her head and hugged Lin Xuan tightly with her hands. Okay, my wife. Lin Xuan reached out and gently stroked Li Mengyao's hair. Then Li Mengyao loosened her hands and ran back to the room with a red face. Chapter 6: Li Mengyao's family. What's that smell so bad? It turns out to be the sour smell of love. Liu Yusin looked at everything that had just happened with disdain. Yusin, stop talking. Li Mengyao's face turned red. Yao Yao, why are you so willing to give in? You're living with Lin Xuan so soon. You are the campus beauty of Jinghai University. You are alone with a man and a woman in the same room. What if he treats you badly? No. He is very good to me and has always taken good care of me, and I have liked Lin Xuan for a long time. Li Mengyao murmured. Oh, you love-brained person. It can't be so fast. Yao Yao, are you hiding something from me? Liu Yusin stared at Li Mengyao. No. No. Li Mengyao clenched her hands tightly together, blushing and stammering as she explained, not daring to look the other person in the eye. You are lying, tell me or I will do something bad. Liu Yusin looked at him with a sly smile on her face. Li Mengyao and Liu Yusin have known each other for almost 4 years. As good friends, they could tell at a glance that Li Mengyao was lying. Har 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 har, stop it, it's itchy. Liu Yusin pounced on Li Mengyao, put her hands on her waist, and kept tickling her. Say it or not. I say, har har har. Li Mengyao had no choice but to surrender. She was most afraid of being tickled. Li Mengyao wiped the tears from her eyes and said shyly. Actually, I'm pregnant. Huh? Did I hear it right? Liu Yusin was shocked with her mouth wide open. It's been more than 2 months. Afterwards, Li Mengyao told Liu Yusin what had happened. It seems that Lin Xuan is quite responsible. But I have to remind you that you two should hold on when living together. Lin Xuan wouldn't be like that. You are so beautiful, who knows what will happen if he gets beastly someday. No. That can't be. Li Mengyao's face turned red instantly. At this time, there was a sound of the door opening, and Lin Xuan walked in carrying large and small bags. You're back. Li Mengyao walked quickly to Lin Xuan and stretched out her hand to take the bag. I'll be there. What are you two talking about? Your face is so red. Lin Xuan gently pinched Li Mengyao's pretty face. I won't tell you. Li Mengyao pouted her lips slightly, looking proud. Then I'll go cook. It will be ready soon. Lin Xuan couldn't do anything with her, so he had to go into the kitchen and start cooking. It is indeed a reward from the system. Looking at these ingredients, I can come up with the corresponding cooking methods in my mind. Whether it is frying, roasting, boiling, steaming, stewing, deep frying or braising, I am proficient in everything. The house given by the system is also fully furnished, and they are all big brands. After a while, a fragrance wafted from the kitchen, like an invisible hand, pulling Li Mengyao and Liu Yusin closer involuntarily. Serve the food. Lin Xuan filled the dining table with delicious dishes. Wow, this is so delicious, it must be a 5-star chef. Liu Yusin took a piece of beef brisket and stuffed it into her mouth, unable to help but exclaim. Li Mengyao was also eating it in small bites. Yao Yao, your future life will be so happy, with the chef by your side every day. Tilder, Li Mengyao didn't expect that Lin Xuan's cooking could reach the level of a chef, and her face was filled with happiness. Lin Xuan took a sip and found it mellow in taste and rich in aroma. Every bite was intoxicating. Ding dong, congratulations to their host for successfully preparing a delicious meal for Li Mengyao and the babies. The reward is 500,000 yuan in cash, and the critical strike probability is triggered 6 times, so the reward is 3 million yuan in cash. It has been transferred to their host's bank card through formal and legal means. Please check it. Lin Xuan heard the system's voice again in his mind. The system was still as awesome as ever, giving out a reward of 3 million right away. After lunch, Lin Xuan sent Liu Yusin back to school. Lin Xuan drove quietly and glanced at Liu Yusin sitting in the back seat through the rearview mirror. I say, why are you staring at me? Lin Xuan said helplessly. When are you going to get married? Yao Yao is pregnant with your child, you have to give her a name. You know everything. Lin Xuan was a little surprised. Of course, Yao Yao and I are good friends who can talk about anything. Liu Yusin looked proud. We plan to go back to Mengyao's hometown together next week. When we get my mother-in-law's consent, we will get married. Lin Xuan said in a firm tone. Okay, I'll leave Yao Yao to you first. Yao Yao's family is not very good. Her father died in a car accident in his early years, leaving only her and her mother, so Yao Yao lacks a sense of security. She hasn't mentioned these to me yet. Lin Xuan said with a sad heart. Don't be fooled by her soft and weak appearance. She is actually very strong inside and sometimes very stubborn. Since she has decided to follow you, you should treat her well. If you dare to bully Yao Yao, I will never let you go. Liu Yusin waved her little pink fist. I know that no matter how much I say, it won't be as good as actual action. I will definitely not let Mengyao down. You can supervise me at any time. After safely delivering Liu Yusin, Lin Xuan immediately returned to Jinwan Prefecture. I'm back. There was no response. Lin Xuan walked into the room and found Li Mengyao sleeping on the sofa. She must have been waiting for Lin Xuan to come back, and ended up falling asleep in a daze. At this time, Li Mengyao had changed into a white nightgown, revealing her charming long legs. Lin Xuan walked carefully to the sofa, squatted down, and carefully looked at the sleeping beauty. Her body was slightly curled up, her eyes were closed, her eyelashes were like butterfly wings, trembling gently, and the corners of her mouth were slightly raised, as if she was having a sweet dream. Thinking of Li Mengyao's tragic childhood experiences and the bitterness of both mother and daughter, Lin Xuan's heart ached. I will be a good husband, Mengyao. Lin Xuan said gently. Tilde, Li Mengyao made a slight sound as if she heard it. Lin Xuan gently picked up Li Mengyao and slowly walked towards the master bedroom. Li Mengyao had a beautiful dream. In the dream, she and Lin Xuan were walking in the marriage hall, hugging and kissing each other. Li Mengyao woke up around 5 in the afternoon. There was nothing she could do about it. Pregnancy really made her sleepy. She remembered that she seemed to have fallen asleep on the sofa, but when she opened her eyes she found herself in bed. Her face turned red and she hurriedly got up and opened the door. At this moment, Lin Xuan was in the computer room, sitting in front of the computer, his fingers clacking on the keyboard. No one knew what he was doing. Lin Xuan, what are you doing? Li Mengyao's voice was a little hoarse, as if she was still immersed in a sweet dream. Wife, are you awake? I'm doing a part-time job. Lin Xuan walked quickly to Li Mengyao and said gently. Have I disturbed you? Li Mengyao blinked her beautiful eyes slightly. You never disturb me at any time. Are you hungry? What do you want to eat tonight? Lin Xuan could not hide the doting in his eyes. It's all right. I'm not picky about food. Tilde, Li Mengyao stretched out her hands and said coquettishly. Lin Xuan gently held Li Mengyao in his arms. She exuded a unique fragrance, not strong but lasting, like the tranquility in a valley. Are we going shopping in the mall tonight? Lin Xuan asked. Why do you suddenly want to go shopping? Li Mengyao looked confused. Normally, it is girls who should take the initiative to suggest shopping. It is rare for boys to take the initiative to suggest it. Take you to buy something. I don't have anything to buy. You'll understand once you get there. It's very important. Okay, Tilde, Li Mengyao's brilliant smile made people's hearts tremble. Chapter 7 Shopping. In the evening, Lin Xuan put local chicken, shiitake mushrooms, ginger slices and other ingredients into a pot and stewed them. The freshness of the shiitake mushrooms and the unique aroma of the local chicken blended together to make a mellow-flavored shiitake mushroom and local chicken soup. Wife, come and try the local chicken soup I made. Lin Xuan placed a small bowl of chicken soup in front of Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao had a poor appetite during her pregnancy and had no appetite for anything. So Lin Xuan made delicious chicken soup, and with the help of a 5-star chef, it directly stimulated Li Mengyao's taste buds. Lin Xuan, why are you so skilled at cooking? Li Mengyao blinked her beautiful eyes and drank in small sips. I have to blame my mom. She always likes to come up with new ideas. For example, kiwi rice, dragon fruit fried meat. In short, the cooking skills are not very good. Later, I studied cooking on my own during the winter and summer vacations. Lin Xian recalled painfully that his mother Zhang Shulan's cooking skills were really not that good. So there was really no other way, I could only cook for myself, and over time I learned how to cook. Although I'm definitely not as good as a 5-star chef, at least I can eat. Li Mengyao burst out laughing, don't say that about auntie. In the evening, the two drove a Maybach to a nearby large shopping mall, Jinhuan Plaza. Jinhuan Plaza is the commercial center of Jinhuan district in Jinghai city. It is dazzling with flashing neon lights and numerous shops. Li Mengyao took Lin Xian's arm and walked into Jinhuan Plaza. You haven't told me what to buy yet. Li Mengyao gently squeezed Lin Xian's hand. You'll know soon enough, just ahead. Afterwards, the two entered a store specializing in daily necessities for pregnant women. Welcome, what can I do for you too? The clerk greeted them warmly. Hello, do you have any moisturizing lotion to prevent stretch marks? Lin Xian asked. Yes, this one is a very popular product recently. It is very effective in removing wrinkles and has a high cost effectiveness. The shop assistants seemed to be two young men, and they did not recommend the most expensive items right away, otherwise they would scare people away. Lin Xian glanced at the specific information of the product and frowned. Although this product has a good effect in removing wrinkles, it is not the best. There are also these ones. Although the wrinkle removal effect is not as good, they are much cheaper than the previous one and are also good. The clerk saw Lin Xian frowning and thought that the two of them probably didn't have that much budget. Could you please show me the most expensive and best performing product in your store? Lin Xian asked the clerk with a smile. Okay, please wait. This is the one. I guarantee that there won't be any stretch marks after using it. The clerk quickly brought it over. Lin Xian relied on the pregnancy knowledge encyclopedia rewarded by the system and took a look at the product information. It was free of fragrance, alcohol, chemical additives, etc., and it was indeed the best for removing wrinkles. Li Mengyao took a look at the price and took a deep breath. This small bottle costs 1,000 yuan. So he gently pulled the corner of Lin Xian's clothes and whispered, by the previous one, this one is too expensive. It's okay, your husband has money. You don't want to have stretch marks after giving birth, so use the best. Lin Xian gently squeezed Li Mengyao's little hand and said softly. Hello, could you please give me 5 bottles of this, thank you. Okay, please wait a moment, I'll pack it for you. The clerk was very happy and sold it for 5,000 yuan in one go. After paying, the two walked out of the maternity daily necessities store, and Lin Xian took Li Mengyao and continued walking forward. Do you want to buy anything else? Li Mengyao wanted to hold Lin Xian back, not wanting him to spend any more money, so he should save some money. I also want to buy this, Lin Xian said with a smile, pointing forward. Li Mengyao looked in the direction where she saw a store specializing in maternity clothes. Why buy these? After 3 months of pregnancy, your belly will start to show, and the clothes you wore before will no longer fit. So let's buy some maternity clothes. Lin Xian continued to teach Li Mengyao about pregnancy. How do you know all this? Li Mengyao's face flushed after hearing this. I have done my homework for you and the babies. Lin Xian said with a smile. Lower your head, I have something to tell you. Li Mengyao blinked her beautiful eyes happily and whispered. Why are you being so careful? Lin Xian bent down obediently, and she gently tiptoed and left a gentle kiss on Lin Xian's cheek. Then he quickly distanced himself from the store and walked towards the store with his calves clacking. A faint smile appeared on Lin Xian's face, as if their whole world had become beautiful. After Li Mengyao picked out a few maternity clothes, she went into the changing room to try them on. Lin Xian glanced at the jewelry store opposite, estimated the time, and quickly ran in. Welcome. A tall, decent-looking clerk came up to greet us. Hello, do you have any diamond ring recommendations? Lin Xian asked with a smile. This is a 1-carat, G-grade engagement diamond ring. The novel design is very popular among young people, and it only costs 20,000 yuan. The clerk saw that Lin Xian still looked like a college student, so he probably didn't have much budget. Although this one has a novel design, the quality of the diamonds is a bit low. Do you have any better ones? Lin Xian asked with a smile. Sir, what is your budget? About 500,000. The clerk was shocked. 500,000 yuan. How can a student have so much money? It seems that he might be a rich second generation. My monthly salary is only a few thousand yuan. It's really frustrating to compare myself with others. Soon, the clerk took out a new diamond ring. The design of this diamond ring was exquisite, the cutting craftsmanship was superb, and it was crystal clear, like the morning dewdrops. It looked even more precious when set on the ring. This 2-carat D-grade rare pure diamond is a rare treasure that proves the eternity of true love. Grade D is completely colorless, the highest grade of color, and is extremely rare and precious. The price is exactly 500,000. Lin Xuan was blinded by the light for a moment. It was indeed true that you get what you pay for. After all, it was worth 500,000 yuan, which was almost as much as a house in a small county town. Okay, thank you. I want this one, Lin Xuan said as he told the clerk the size he had measured yesterday while Li Mengyao fell asleep. Okay sir, please come over here to pay and I'll help you pack it. The clerk was very happy because he would get a lot of commission after completing this big order. After paying the bill, Lin Xuan immediately returned to the maternity clothing store and pretended nothing had happened. Lin Xuan, this looks good. Li Mengyao just walked out and turned around on the spot. It looks good. My wife looks good in anything she wears. Lin Xuan said with admiration. Although Li Mengyao's belly is not noticeable yet, she still looks like a pure beauty in this outfit. HMPH, it's the same as if I didn't say anything. Li Mengyao looked at it in the mirror in front of her, thought it was good, and bought it. After buying clothes, they drove back to Jinghai mansion. It was already 10 o'clock in the evening when Li Mengyao got home, and she was extremely sleepy. Then I'll go back to my room, take a shower and go to bed. Good night. Li Mengyao yawned. Do you want a good night kiss? Lin Xuan leaned forward and asked very gently. No. No, I've already kissed you today. Li Mengyao's face turned red instantly, and she quickly turned around and walked back to the room. So it will be available tomorrow. Besides. Li Mengyao returned to the room and closed the door gently. Chapter 8. Can you come over here for a moment? Ding dong, congratulations to their host for successfully accompanying Li Mengyao to buy products for pregnant women. A reward of 1 luxury store in Jinghai Plaza, please check. The system's voice came into Lin Xuan's mind again. At the same time, staff from Jinghai Plaza also called. Hello, Mr. Lin, I am the marketing manager of Jinghai Plaza. The relevant procedures for your purchase of the Jinghai Plaza luxury store have been prepared. When are you free to come and check it? Okay, I'll check in a few days. Lin Xuan hung up the phone, thinking what time it was. The staff at Jinghai Plaza were still working overtime. This society is too twisted. These days, Lin Xuan took care of Li Mengyao's 3 meals a day as usual. The weather forecast shows that there will be heavy thunderstorms in Jinghai district late at night. At this time, Lin Xuan brought out a plate of cherries after dinner. Li Mengyao was lying leisurely on the lazy chair, looking at the sparkling river surface and accepting feeding from Lin Xuan. Is it tasty? Delicious tilde. Hey, shall we watch a movie together tonight? Okay, what movie do you want to see? I want to watch a horror movie. Li Mengyao hesitated slightly. Horror movie. Lin Xuan was slightly stunned. Li Mengyao was usually so weak, how could she like watching horror movies? I didn't watch horror movies before, but after entering college, Yushin often played horror movies in the dormitory. I liked the thrilling feeling I got from watching them, Li Mengyao explained in a low voice. This girl. No, the emotions and mental state during pregnancy will affect the baby's development. Watching horror movies can create emotional waves of tension and fear, which can be passed onto the baby. So let's pick a heartwarming movie to watch, okay? Lin Xuan explained gently. Okay. Li Mengyao pouted slightly. In the end, the two chose the movie Hachiko, a dog's story. In fact, there is another important reason for not watching horror movies, that is, Lin Xuan has been afraid of ghosts since he was a child. When he was a child, he was frightened by the older sister of the neighbor. One time, she took advantage of being a few years older than Lin Xuan and forced him to watch a horror movie together, which caused indelible trauma in his young heart. The living room has a high-definition projector with a 70-inch large screen, comfortable sofas, shocking sound effects, and clear picture quality, creating the ultimate viewing experience. After Lin Xuan adjusted the projector, Li Mengyao took some fruits and snacks, leaned quietly beside Lin Xuan, and fed Lin Xuan while watching a movie. Hachiko, a dog story, tells the story of the deep emotional bond between humans and dogs, and also reminds us to cherish the people and animals around us, and the love and companionship they give us. Sure enough, after watching the movie, Li Mengyao's eyes were blurred with tears and she was completely immersed in the emotional world of the movie. Appropriate crying can help pregnant women release inner pressure, reduce psychological burden, and relieve emotional tension. As for Lin Xuan, he gently hugged Li Mengyao and kept handing her tissues with his other hand. Although the movie was very touching, Lin Xuan did not have any emotional fluctuations. It's impossible for me to cry. It's not decent for a grown man to cry while watching a movie. It was already past 10 o'clock in the evening when they finished watching the movie. Li Mengyao yawned, raised her jade hands and gently hugged Lin Xuan's neck, raised her head slightly, and left a kiss on Lin Xuan's face. "I'm going to bed, good night kiss." After saying that, he trotted back to the room. Lin Xuan had no way to deal with this kind of person who flirts and then runs away. After turning off the projector, Lin Xuan returned to his room and prepared to go to bed. Boom. Late at night, the wind howled in the darkness, lightning flashed and thunder roared, a flash of lightning streaked across the sky, and heavy rain poured down, violently hitting the earth. Li Mengyao, who was sleeping soundly, was awakened by a loud thunder. The thunder was deafening. Li Mengyao was frightened and turned pale. She trembled and curled up. Li Mengyao has been afraid of thunder since she was a child, although as she grows older, she is no longer afraid of ordinary thunder. But now the thunder seemed to be right above Jinghai Prefecture, deafening. Coupled with the fact that I was pregnant, the feeling of fear was magnified. On the other hand, although Lin Xuan was also awakened by the first thunder, he prefers thunderstorms. "I always feel that I sleep better with the sound of thunder and rain." Lin Xuan was just about to fall asleep again when his cell phone suddenly rang. "Who is it, sending me a message in the middle of the night?" Lin Xuan was very reluctant, but he couldn't resist his curiosity. I opened my phone and saw that it was Li Mengyao. "Lin Xuan, can you come over here for a moment?" Li Mengyao continued to curl up after sending the message. In the past, she could have just gritted her teeth and got through it, but now it was different. She thought of Lin Xuan. I was afraid of disturbing Lin Xuan's sleep, so after thinking it over again and again, I decided to send a message first. "Wife, I'm coming in." Lin Xuan knocked on the door gently, then pushed it open and walked in. Li Mengyao heard Lin Xuan's voice and quickly jumped off the bed. Like a frightened bird, she flew into Lin Xuan's arms and hugged his neck tightly. "I'm sorry, I didn't know you were afraid of thunder." Lin Xuan gently stroked Li Mengyao's hair. "Then I'll watch you sleep." Lin Xuan looked at Li Mengyao, who was trembling slightly in his arms. "Let's sleep together." A faint blush appeared on Li Mengyao's face. "Is there such a good thing?" Lin Xuan suddenly wanted to thank the weather tonight. Lin Xuan carried Li Mengyao back to the bed, and lay down himself, gently holding Li Mengyao in his arms, giving her enough sense of security. Li Mengyao was no longer so scared when being held by Lin Xuan. Instead, she felt very warm. What followed was the temperature of the face continuing to rise. "Li Mengyao is shy." Lin Xuan looked at Li Mengyao, whose face was flushed, and said with a smile, "You're not scared now, are you? It's not the first time I hold you in my arms while sleeping, why are you so shy?" "The last time, wasn't it when I was pregnant?" "The bad guy Lin Xuan dares to tease me at this time." The more Li Mengyao thought about it, the angrier she became. She raised her jade hand and pinched Lin Xuan's waist. Okay, I was wrong. I won't tease you anymore. I just want to ease your fear. You've cried enough today. Any more crying won't be good for the baby. Are you still scared now?" Lin Xuan coaxed gently. "Not afraid anymore." Li Mengyao murmured. Soon, Li Mengyao fell asleep, but Lin Xuan didn't feel so good. "This girl doesn't sleep well." Lin Xuan was in great agony at this moment. Chapter 9. You're going to be a grandmother. The next morning, a telephone rang in Li Mengyao's ears. Li Mengyao, sleepy and dazed, picked up the phone and pressed the answer button. "Hello Tilder," Li Mengyao's voice was soft. Lin's mother on the other end of the phone was shocked and stunned. "What's going on?" "I called my son and heard a woman's voice on the other end of the line." "Who are you? Where is my son Lin Xuan?" Lin's mother asked anxiously. "Lin Xuan? Lin Xuan is sleeping next to me Tilder." After saying that, Li Mengyao put the phone close to Lin Xuan, then hugged Lin Xuan and continued to sleep soundly. Lin Xuan is sleeping like a pig because he stayed up late last night. Only the person on the other end of the line was left. Hello. Hello. Why is there no one here? Hello. 2 hours passed. Lin Xuan slowly opened his eyes, stretched, and finally came back to life. Looking at Li Mengyao holding her tightly in her arms, her charming cherry lips. I really want to have a bite. At this moment, an angel and a demon appeared in Lin Xuan's mind. Angel, people trust you so much, Lin Xuan, you can't take advantage of them. Devil, you already have a child, so what's wrong with a kiss? Lin Xuan, kiss her hard. Lin Xuan fell into deep thought. What both of them said made sense. Then just choose the middle option. It's not too much to secretly kiss Li Mengyao's little face. Li Mengyao has also secretly kissed Lin Xuan's face several times, as a token of reciprocity. Lin Xuan lowered his head and slowly approached Li Mengyao's delicate face. When they were still a few centimeters away, Lin Xuan's breathing made Li Mengyao's eyebrows tremble slightly. She slowly opened her eyes, and her eyes gradually became clear, revealing a kind of freshness and innocence as if she had just woken up. What do you want to do? Li Mengyao regained consciousness and spoke weakly. I just want to see you up close. Lin Xuan said guiltily. Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xuan's eyes, then lowered her head to look at her collar, and her little face instantly turned red. Rogue. Pervert. Then she quickly distanced herself from him, buried her head in the quilt, and was too shy to come out. Lin Xuan has a doting look on his face, and his wife scolds people in a gentle manner. Ahem, no more joking. After being in a daze for a while, Lin Xuan was about to get up. Coincidentally, Lin's mother called again. Lin Xuan didn't think much about it and pressed the answer button. Hello, Mom. What's the matter that makes you call so early in the morning? Where are you now, little brat? Me. I'm in the dormitory. Lin Xuan looked at the situation and felt that it was difficult to explain now, so he could only lie to the old lady. In the dormitory? Then why did a girl answer my call just now? You're not going to break into the girls' dormitory at night, are you? You are really going to torture me. I won't care about you when the time comes. Zhang Shulan said angrily. Lin Xuan quickly opened his phone and saw several calls from Zhang Shulan. The first one was connected. Could it be Li Mengyao who answered it? At this time, Li Mengyao fell asleep again. Pregnant women can really sleep. Mom, I'll explain it to you later. Lin Xuan lowered his voice and hung up the phone. This brat even dared to hang up on me. I'm so pissed. Zhang Shulan looked at Lin Jinghua who was playing with his mobile phone not far away. Lao Lin, go wash the vegetables if you have nothing else to do. Lin Jinghua looked at him innocently. What does it have to do with me if my son provokes you? Due to my family status, I had no choice but to walk into the kitchen. On the other side, Lin Xuan tiptoed out of the room, opened the first call record on his mobile phone, and clicked replay. Hello Tilder. Lin Xuan? Lin Xuan is sleeping next to me Tilder, Li Mengyao's soft voice came. Oh no, my mom must have misunderstood. But it's time to confess to my family. It's nothing more than mixed doubles, which was a common occurrence when I was a kid. Then Lin Xuan quickly called his mother back. You little bastard, are you too arrogant to hang up on your mom? Mom, don't be angry. I'm fighting back. Lin Xuan said with a grin. Tell me quickly, what happened this morning? Mom, you have to prepare yourself mentally. Still preparing yourself mentally? You won't really. Mom, don't let your imagination run wild. There's no way I would do something like that. Zhang Shulan thought about it carefully and realized that she knew her son well and it was unlikely that he would do such a thing. Then tell me, kid, I heard it clearly. Mom, it's nothing, it's just, you're going to be a grandmother. It's okay, it's really nothing, what? Zhang Shulan jumped in shock. The person who just answered the phone was your daughter-in-law. You bastard boy, what did your father and I teach you? You let her get pregnant before marriage, are you doing her justice? If I hadn't caught you, you would have hidden yourself away for the rest of your life, right? You really make me mad. Zhang Shulan clenched her fists tightly, wishing she could fly over and beat Lin Xuan up. Mom, don't be angry, isn't this because you're not ready yet? And I'm planning to marry her, and then we'll have a grand wedding. Lin Xuan hurriedly explained. So where do you live now? It can't be in the girls' dormitory. Of course not. I now live in Jinwan Mansion, Jinghai City. Just wait, kid. Your dad and I will be there this afternoon. Send me the address. By the way, if you have a photo of my daughter-in-law, please send it over as well. Zhang Shulan was so angry. Although she really wanted to be a grandmother after retirement, she couldn't become one suddenly. No one could bear this. She had to go and see the scene. Lao Lin, come out. Zhang Shulan shouted towards the kitchen. What's going on? It feels so tense. Lin Jinghua looked innocent. Take a leave from work these 2 days, and we'll go to Jinghai City in the afternoon. Why do you suddenly ask for leave? I am a middle-level leader in a state-owned enterprise, so it's difficult to approve it. Your son got someone else's daughter pregnant. You're going to be a grandfather. Do you want to take a leave? Zhang Shulan rolled her eyes at Lin Jinghua. Huh? What the hell is going on? After Zhang Shulan's explanation, veins popped out on Lin Jinghua's forehead with anger. You little brat, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Where are my belts? Bring me a few more. At this time, Zhang Shulan found her good sister who was doing business in the countryside and asked her to bring a few local chickens over quickly. Then the two of them began to rummage through their boxes and pack up their things. On the other side, Lin Xuan was in a state of panic, pacing back and forth in their hall. It was over. He was going to be beaten in the afternoon. At this time, Mengyao just pushed open the door and walked out, and saw Lin Xuan's anxious look. Lin Xuan, what are you doing? Honey, are you awake? Are you hungry? I'll go make breakfast right now. When Lin Xuan saw Mengyao, his anxious mood instantly disappeared. A hint of happiness flashed across Mengyao's face. After a while, the fragrant mushroom and lean meat porridge was served. Looking at Mengyao drinking in small sips, Lin Xuan's heart was filled with happiness. Anyway, the matter has been settled, and the worst that can happen is that I'll get a couple of beatings. 1 meal at my own home, 1 meal at my wife's home. Wife, did you receive a phone call this morning? Is there? Mengyao tried hard to recall while drinking porridge. It seems like someone said they were looking for Lin Xuan, and then That's my mother. Lin Xuan said helplessly. At this time, Mengyao's eyes were wide open, and her cherry lips were slightly opened, unable to close for a long time. Chapter 10. Don't pull your ears. Mengyao couldn't even drink the porridge anymore. She was shocked and didn't know what to do. Lin Xuan gently embraced Mengyao in his arms and said softly, Don't be afraid, honey. This will happen sooner or later. I was going to tell them after I visited your mother. My parents are also very easy to get along with. They are so happy to see such a beautiful daughter-in-law. Mengyao frowned. I'm still a little nervous. Will your parents think that I am a casual person? Lin Xuan gently played with Mengyao's hair, which exuded a faint fragrance. No, they think I've let you down. I guess he's busy packing now. Come and give me a beating this afternoon. After hearing this, Mengyao's mouth corners slightly raised, a beautiful arc like a crescent moon, and she seemed less nervous. Well, how did your parents beat you? My dad has an heirloom belt, and my mom has an heirloom hanger. It's a mixed doubles match between two people, and it's a round-based match. This time, my dad beat me and my mom comforted me. Next time, my mom beat me and my dad comforted me, and the two of them worked in unison. Lin Xuan recalled painfully. Mengyao chuckled and blinked her elegant eyes slightly. You must be too naughty. You just wanted to be a hooligan to me. Can it be called hooliganism when a husband kisses his own wife? Lin Xuan said shamelessly. Not yet, we're not married yet. Mengyao's face flushed instantly, and she raised her jade hand and gently hit Lin Xuan's chest. It's only a matter of time. Mengyao rolled her eyes and then hesitated. I used to have a happy family. But when I was 8 years old, my dad left us early because of a car accident. I was still young at that time and naively thought my father was going on a long journey. The next time we met was in the black and white photo on the tombstone. After that, my mother started to work hard every day to support the family. When I was in school, I was often teased and told that I was a child without a father. Li Mengyao recounted many of the bitter experiences of her childhood, tears streaming down her face, her eyes red, and she hugged Lin Xuan tightly with both hands. Lin Xuan gently wiped away her tears with a tissue, then hugged Li Mengyao tightly. "Don't cry, I'll always be here for you. I will give you and the babies a wonderful home in the future," Lin Xuan said in a firm tone. "Yer Tilder, I believe you. Do you still want to drink the porridge?" "No more drinking. I'm still a little sleepy. Carry me back to bed." Li Mengyao smiled sweetly. "Little lazy bastard." Then Lin Xuan effortlessly picked her up like a princess. "Hiss. Don't bite, I was wrong." Lin Xuan carried Li Mengyao back to the room. After coming out, he looked at the cute teeth marks on his arm and smiled happily. Ding dong, the brat sent a message. Zhang Shulan opened it and was instantly attracted. In the photo, Li Mengyao is wearing a white nightgown. She has delicate features and looks fresh and charming. Her cherry lips are biting a cherry, giving people a feeling of comfort and tranquility. That's right, this is a photo Lin Xuan took secretly. Even without beauty filters or makeup, she still looks like a fresh beauty. This daughter-in-law is so pretty. Old Lin, take a look. Zhang Shulan handed it to Lin Jinghua impatiently. "I'm driving now. I'll see when we get there. I'm telling you, when you see your daughter-in-law later, don't put on a sour face, okay? If you want to beat up your son, go out and solve it. Don't scare your daughter-in-law, do you hear me?" I know. I'll do as you say." Lin Jinghua was helpless. It seemed that his family status was going to decline again. Lin Xian's hometown is in Yunhai City, a 3-hour drive from Jinghai City. So for the time being, Lin Xuan can still survive for 3 hours. But what is coming will come. In the afternoon, Zhang Shulan and Lin Jinghua arrived at the gate of Jinwan Mansion and were also attracted by the beautiful scenery of the community. "This neighborhood is pretty nice." Zhang Shulan was comparing her own community. Although the community she lived in was considered good in Yunhai City, the gap was huge compared to the Jinwan Mansion in front of her. This brat, renting a house in such an expensive place, doesn't he know that it costs a lot of money to get married and have children? One more reason to beat up Lin Xuan. Then he made an angry phone call. "Hey, brat, we're here, hurry down and pick us up." Coming. Lin Xuan said helplessly. "So fast? It's only been 2.5 hours. Lin Xuan quickly put on his shoes and ran to the gate of the community to greet the 2 elders. Soon, Lin Xuan saw 2 familiar figures, familiar faces, and angry eyes. "Mom and Dad, come here." "Ouch, it hurts, stop pulling my ears." "You little brat, you ignored my previous instructions, didn't you?" Zhang Shulan grabbed Lin Xian's ears, and because Lin Xuan was tall, he was forced to be pulled down. Everyone around was looking at this place with a look of watching onlookers, which made Lin Xuan very embarrassed. "Mom, please listen to me and let me explain slowly. Save some face for your son in public." Lin Xuan wailed in pain and looked for help at Lin Jinghua, who was standing next to him. Lin Jinghua's mouth opened and closed, as if he was telling Lin Xuan something in sign language. "There's nothing I can do, and I'll have to beat you up later." Lin Xuan looked desperate. Zhang Shulan looked around and then let go of her hand. "Let's go up and talk." Then the 3 of them walked towards Lin Xuan's house, and Lin Xuan told the 2 elders everything that had happened. "The strange thing is, my mom didn't seem very angry, but my dad was smiling but not really smiling." "What about my daughter-in-law?" Zhang Shulan asked impatiently. "I'm sleeping in my room. I should be awake by now." "Then let her continue to sleep. I'll go make some chicken soup for my daughter-in-law to replenish her nutrition." After saying that, Zhang Shulan got up and prepared to go to the kitchen. The father and son were shocked. "Mom, I'll do it, you guys just rest." Lin Xuan hurriedly stopped her. "Can you make chicken soup?" "Of course, now your daughter-in-law only eats the food I cook, you might not be used to it." Zhang Shulan had no choice but to use her daughter-in-law's trick. Then Lin Xuan rushed into the kitchen and attacked the poor hen. After a while, the room was filled with the rich aroma of chicken soup. At this time, Li Mengyao had just woken up and came to the hall following the fragrance. "Lin Xuan, have you made chicken soup again? It smells so good." As soon as Li Mengyao finished speaking, she saw Zhang Shulan and Lin Jingguo beside her, looking at her tenderly. From a happy face to shy, and then ran back to the room in a panic. Chapter 11 Uncle, don't hit Lin Xian. When Zhang Shulan saw her daughter-in-law running away, she punched Lin Jingguo next to her, but of course she didn't use much force. Look at your playful face. Look, you scared your daughter-in-law away. Zhang Shulan glared at him and then walked into the kitchen. Lin Jingguo felt a little aggrieved, thinking, didn't you tell me not to put on a sour face before, and you were also smiling? Of course Lin Jingguo didn't dare to say it out loud, he could only endure it silently and take it out on his son when the time came. Son, go and see my daughter-in-law. She seemed to have been scared away by your father when she came out just now. Zhang Shulan said to Lin Xian. Is Mengyao awake? I'll go right away. The chicken soup is almost done, Mom, please stop processing it. Lin Xian walked away while turning back and giving instructions. Got it, go ahead. Zhang Shulan knew that her son disliked her cooking skills, so she glared at him. Lin Xian walked into the room and closed the door. Li Mengyao was wearing a light purple ruffled dress, like an elf walking out of a sea of flowers, exuding a charming and fresh temperament. The light makeup on her face also makes her look more fresh and pleasant. Does it look good? Seeing Lin Xian staring at her, Li Mengyao asked shyly. Very beautiful, like a fairy. Lin Xian walked to Li Mengyao and took her soft little hand. I was so sleepy just now that I forgot your parents were coming. Will they like the way I look now? Li Mengyao pursed her lips, still a little nervous. There is no parent in the world who doesn't like a little fairy like you. Lin Xian squeezed her little hand. You are the only one who can speak. Li Mengyao blinked her beautiful eyes. Let's go out together, don't worry, I'm here with you. Tilde. Then the two of them walked out of the room hand in hand, Lin Xian in front and Li Mengyao following closely behind. Mom and Dad, let me introduce you. This is Li Mengyao, the child's mother. Mengyao, these are my parents. Lin Xian introduced. Hello, Uncle and Aunt Tilde, Li Mengyao greeted nervously. Zhang Shulan and Lin Guozhen were looking at their daughter-in-law in front of them. She was even more beautiful in person than in the photo. He admired that he was indeed his son and had good taste. Mengyao, come and sit down. Auntie wants to have a good chat with you. Zhang Shulan greeted them warmly, pushed Lin Xian aside, and pulled Li Mengyao to sit down. Mengyao, where are you from? Stillwater City. Seeing that Li Mengyao was still very reserved, he thought it might be Lin Jingguo who was beside her, and then glared at her. Lao Lin, don't you have something to say to your precious son? You guys go out and discuss this. Lin Jingguo and Lin Xian left reluctantly. We already know about your situation. It was my brat who wronged you. I just gave him a good lesson. Here, our Lin family would like to apologize to you. Then Zhang Shulan took out a bracelet from her bosom. The gems on the bracelet were exquisitely inlaid and shining brightly. The unique bracelet design was like a work of art. We don't have any heirloom bracelets. This is a bracelet I bought while traveling a few years ago. I plan to give it to my daughter-in-law in the future. I'll give it to you as a meeting gift. Auntie, I can't accept such a valuable thing. Li Mengyao quickly refused. Here, this is what that kid owes you. Don't worry, if this kid dares to treat you badly, just tell me and I will definitely help you teach him a lesson. Li Mengyao heard the lesson and suddenly thought, could it be that Lin Xian went out with his father? Li Mengyao's face changed drastically and she quickly ran out the door. Just then, Lin Jingguo was seen holding a belt, ready to beat Lin Xian. Lin Xian stood still, ready to accept the punishment. Li Mengyao quickly pounced on Lin Xian, hugged him tightly, and looked straight at Lin Jingguo. Uncle, don't hit Lin Xian. Lin Xian is not wrong. It was caused by our carelessness. Lin Xian has been taking good care of me during this period and has also taken on responsibilities. I like Lin Xian very much. Lin Xian also didn't expect that Li Mengyao, who had always been weak, would be so brave, and even for the sake of protecting himself. Oh. Lin Xian, you decide what to do. Lin Jingguo sighed helplessly. I will take responsibility and spend my whole life accompanying you and taking care of you. Lin Xian said in a firm tone. I believe you. Li Mengyao lowered her head shyly. Okay, stop standing outside. Mengyao must be hungry. Come in and have a bowl of chicken soup to replenish your nutrition. Zhang Shulan came out to smooth things over and pulled Li Mengyao back to the restaurant inside the house, followed by Lin Xian and Lin Jinghua. Lin Xian went back to the kitchen and cooked some home-cooked dishes. The family finally had dinner. Huh? Brat, when did your cooking skills become so good? Zhang Shulan and Lin Jinghua were both shocked. It tasted so delicious. However, Zhang Shulan did not forget to pick up food for Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao's bowl was never empty. After dinner, Lin Xian took Li Mengyao for a stroll around the community as usual. Zhang Shulan and Lin Jinghua stayed at home. Wife, were you scared just now? Lin Xian held Li Mengyao's hand and asked. Yeah, a little bit. My parents are actually pretty nice people. I was taught from a young age to be an upright person, not to cause trouble, and not to get involved in bad habits. This time they should be both angry and happy. They are angry because I bullied you, and they are happy because they have such a beautiful daughter-in-law and are becoming grandparents. So it's normal to want to beat me up. If I had known that I wouldn't protect you, I would have let you get beaten up. Li Mengyao raised the corners of her mouth slightly and smiled happily. On the other side, Zhang Shulan and Lin Jinghua stayed at home. Old Lin, you're going to be a grandfather now. Shouldn't you show some appreciation? Zhang Shulan asked. Well, let Lin Xian go and see the house when the time comes. Lin Jinghua said. That's all we can do. This prodigal son, he doesn't save money and rents such a big house. Doesn't he know that it costs a lot of money to have a baby? As Zhang Shulan was talking, she wanted to beat Lin Xian again, but she could do nothing when she thought about her daughter-in-law not letting her. After Lin Xian and Li Mengyao came back in the evening, Li Mengyao was already feeling sleepy, so she went back to her room early to rest. After Lin Xian helped his parents clean up the room, he was pulled over by Zhang Shulan. Son, go check out the house in Jinghai City in a few days. Now that Mengyao is pregnant, we have to buy a house quickly and prepare for the wedding. Here is 1 million yuan. Your father and I saved it for you to marry a wife. Take it. As he said that, he took out a bank card and handed it to Lin Xian. Mom, no need to buy it, I already have a house. Lin Xian stepped back. Where did you get this house? Isn't it rented? I bought this house. Lin Xian said proudly. Zhang Shulan was stunned for a moment, then slapped Lin Xian on the head. Smelly boy, where did you get so much money? I started learning about investment when I was in college, and I've also been working part-time as a designer in the past few years, so I've saved some money. Let's leave this money to Cici. Lin Xian explained, covering his head. Zhang Shulan has never denied that her son is smart. After thinking about it carefully, my son was quite reliable except for this incident, so I believed it. Okay, just tell mom if you don't have enough money. Zhang Shulan took back the bank card. By the way, does Cici know about this? Lin Xian also has a younger sister who is currently attending high school at Jinghai City No. 1 Middle School. I don't know yet. She went to school. Okay, it's getting late now. Your dad and I are going back to the room to rest. Seeing that it was already past 10 o'clock in the evening, Lin Xian was ready to go back to his room to rest. I opened the door and found a beautiful figure lying on the bed. Chapter 12 Luxurious Restaurant. Lin Xian went out and looked at the room again, and he was sure he had gone to the right place. Could it be that this girl? Lin Xian didn't care about that. He climbed onto the bed gently and lay down next to Li Mengyao. Lin Xian looked at the sleeping Li Mengyao and wondered what delicious food he should make for his wife tomorrow. Make a bowl of red dates and white fungus soup. Red dates and white fungus can both nourish and beautify the skin. Make another serving of stir-fried broccoli with shrimp to supplement protein, vitamins and folic acid. Another serving. Suddenly, Li Mengyao turned around and gently hugged Lin Xian with her delicate hands. Her beautiful eyelashes trembled slightly and the corners of her mouth rose slightly. Lin Xian looked at Li Mengyao pretending to sleep and chuckled. Wife, are you asleep? Lin Xian gently pinched the little face with his hand. Ignore it, but Li Mengyao frowned slightly. It hurts. Big gangster. Li Mengyao turned over, leaving Lin Xian with only the back of her head showing. Lin Xian smiled, came forward and hugged Li Mengyao, saying gently. Wife, why did you come to my room today? Li Mengyao's face turned red, and she said proudly. This is my room, it's you've gone to the wrong place. Lin Xuan knew that Li Mengyao was shy, so he said lovingly. Okay, I took the wrong path. Then I'll always go the wrong way from now on, okay? My wife is always right. Li Mengyao couldn't listen anymore, turned around in annoyance, raised her pink fist, and gently hit Lin Xuan. Stop talking. Okay, I won't say any more. Lin Xuan hugged Li Mengyao into his arms. We'll go to your house the day after tomorrow to visit your mother-in-law, okay? Tilde, Li Mengyao hasn't seen her mother for a while. By the way, what does your mother like? I have to prepare some gifts for her. Lin Xuan asked. No need, just buy some fruits when the time comes, and she will be very happy. Li Mengyao shook her head gently. That won't work. Let's go to the mall again tomorrow. Okay, Tilde. Li Mengyao yawned and was obviously very sleepy. While Lin Xuan was not paying attention, she secretly kissed him on the face. Good night, idiot Lin Xuan. Then he turned over and began to sleep soundly. Flirting and running away again. Lin Xuan had no way to deal with her. I'll deal with you later. Lin Xuan said in a low voice. Then he fell asleep while holding Li Mengyao. The next day, after lunch, Zhang Shulan and Lin Jinghai prepared to return to Jinghai City. Before leaving, Zhang Shulan pulled Li Mengyao over and started mumbling something, laughing as she spoke. Lin Xuan is very curious, he won't tell me about his childhood scandals. Lin Xuan was about to move closer to listen when the two of them stopped talking. Son, take good care of Mengyao. Call home if anything happens. Hurry up and find some time to go to Mengyao's house and apologize. Zhang Shulan said that the more she looked at her daughter-in-law, the more she liked her. Got it, Mom. We will go tomorrow, and have a safe trip. Lin Xuan said. After seeing off the two elders, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao returned home. Lin Xuan asked curiously. What did my mom say to you? You're laughing the whole time. Li Mengyao smiled and snorted. I won't tell you, Tilde. Lin Xuan deliberately put on a stern face, lifted her chin and asked her to look at him. Tell me or not, if you don't I will take action. Li Mengyao narrowed her beautiful eyes. I won't tell you, let's see what you can do to me. Lin Xuan suddenly performed a princess hug, hugged Li Mengyao tightly, and slowly walked towards the room. Tilde, what are you doing? Put me down. Li Mengyao stretched out her hands in panic and hugged Lin Xuan tightly, leaving only her two legs to resist slightly. Lin Xuan carried Li Mengyao back to the room and gently put her back on the bed. Looking at that delicate face, Lin Xuan lowered his head and kissed Li Mengyao's forehead, saying gently. Take a nap, and when you wake up we'll go to the mall. Tilde, Li Mengyao lowered her head shyly, acting like an ostrich because of the kiss just now. After waking up, the two drove a Maybach to Jinwan Plaza. Lin Xuan first bought a lot of health products for Li Mengyao's mother, and later bought her some bags for middle-aged people and some jewelry. Seeing Lin Xuan buying more and more, Li Mengyao finally couldn't help it and grabbed Lin Xuan's hand. Lin Xuan, don't buy any more, there are already enough. Lin Xuan suddenly had a bad idea and pretended. No, I need to buy more. These are not enough. Li Mengyao puffed up her cheeks like a puffer fish. If you buy it again, I'll be angry. You don't have to buy it, but if you give me a kiss, I won't buy it. Lin Xuan said shamelessly, it was because of me that I ran away after flirting with her yesterday. Let's go back, let's talk about it later. There are too many people here. Li Mengyao blushed and turned her pretty head to the side. Lin Xuan took Li Mengyao's hand and said happily, I'll take you to see a place. Lin Xuan picked up the phone and called the marketing manager of Jinwan Plaza. Hello, manager. I purchased a luxury store in Jinwan Plaza before. Can I come over to check it now? Is that Mr. Lin? The other party replied. Yes, I'm on the first floor of Jinwan Plaza now. Okay, wait a moment, I'll be down to pick you up right away. After a while, a man in a suit with a decent appearance came jogging over. Hello, Mr. Lin, I'm the marketing manager of Jinwan Plaza, my last name is Chen. Hello, Manager Chen, can you take us to see the store now? Lin Xuan asked. Of course, please come this way. Manager Chen gestured. Li Mengyao was slightly stunned again. When did Lin Xuan buy another store, and in Jinwan Plaza, where every inch of land is worth a lot of money? Then the two of them came to the 5th floor of Jinwan Plaza, where there are various restaurants. Manager Chen took the two of them to the largest shop on the 5th floor. It is worthy of being a reward from the system, each one is a top-notch product. This shop is 150 square meters, and according to the price of 30,000 yuan per square meter, 4.5 million. Mr. Lin, just sign here. Manager Chen took out a document and handed it to Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan read it carefully and signed his name. Okay, thank you Mr. Lin. If you have any follow-up questions, you can call me at any time. Okay, thank you, Manager Chen. After Manager Chen left, Lin Xuan asked Li Mengyao, who was in a daze. Wife, what do you think of this store? It must be a restaurant, and it's so big. Li Mengyao gestured with her little hands. Well, let's open this place as a fish restaurant. Why is it a fish restaurant? Li Mengyao looked puzzled. Lin Xuan squeezed Li Mengyao's little hand and said, because my wife likes fish the most. Chapter 13 Wife, you still bite me. Li Mengyao's heart was surrounded by a warm emotion and she was so moved that she was speechless. Then she gently put her arms around Lin Xuan's waist, rested her head on his chest, and felt his warmth. After the two of them stayed together for a while, they drove back to Jinwan Mansion. Lin Xuan returned to the kitchen to prepare dinner, and Li Mengyao also wanted to help. Lin Xuan gently pushed her out, saying that pregnant women cannot smell the smell of cooking fumes. Helpless, Li Mengyao had to sit on the sofa and watch the show. Ding dong, Liu Yusin sent a message. My dear Yao Yao, how have you been these days? Did Lin Xuan bully you? I haven't seen my Yao Yao for a long time, crying expression. Li Mengyao smiled brightly, picked up her phone, took a picture of Lin Xuan busy in the kitchen, took another picture of herself watching TV series on the sofa, and sent it to Liu Yusin, little Shiba Inu expression. No way, this is all going to be fed dog food. Yao Yao, can love really disappear? Little Shiba Inu vomiting blood expression. I still love you very much, Da Shinshin tilde. Shinshin is fine, don't add a big word in front, 50-meter sword emoji. Har 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 har, if you want to find me, you can just come directly tilde. Really? I hope your husband won't mind. After all, I'm interrupting your private time. Sly smile. Not yet my husband. Although Li Mengyao had always heard Lin Xuan calling her wife, she was still a little shy when the word husband was mentioned. You're still shy, you've been eaten up. Okay, I'm going to eat now. Lin Xuan brought out 2 bowls of mushroom and chicken rice, a plate of steamed mandarin fish, and a plate of tomato and egg soup. Wife, prepare dinner. Li Mengyao walked forward, threw herself into Lin Xuan's arms, and murmured. Thank you for your hard work tilde. I feel warm in my heart that I will have such a considerate husband in the future. After the two of them stayed together for a while, they started to eat dinner. Lin Xuan, Yushin said she wanted to come here to find me, is that okay? Li Mengyao asked while eating in small bites. Of course, you don't need to ask me about this. You are the hostess here. Lin Xuan said gently. Okay tilde, Li Mengyao smiled sweetly again. Seeing Li Mengyao eating with relish, Lin Xuan felt extremely happy. Until now, Lin Xuan still doesn't know why Li Mengyao likes to eat fish. But since Li Mengyao didn't say anything on her own initiative, he wouldn't ask. As long as she was happy now, that was all that mattered. As for whether the luxurious shop can be used as a fish restaurant, Lin Xuan still has no idea at the moment. First of all, it needs to be renovated. After the renovation, you need to find a reliable store manager and a chef. With the system's 5-star chef certification, he could be a chef in a restaurant, but now his wife is pregnant and he can't spare the time. Forget it, let's take it one step at a time. It's given by the system for free anyway. I'll just pass the test with my mother-in-law tomorrow. After they had their dinner, Lin Xuan washed the dishes and then played online games with his roommates, while Li Mengyao watched a TV series in the living room. At around 10 o'clock in the evening, Lin Xuan prepared a cup of hot milk and placed it in front of the bed, then pulled up Li Mengyao, who was looking at her phone. Wife, have a glass of milk. Tilde. After drinking a cup, the two washed up and lay on the bed. Lin Xuan played with Li Mengyao's hair. Wife, do you want to buy some bird's nest or something tomorrow? No, that's enough. My mother really doesn't care about these. Li Mengyao snuggled into Lin Xuan's arms with a smile on her lips. Are you nervous? Of course I'm nervous. I'm really afraid of being kicked out by my aunt. Lin Xuan looked embarrassed. Now imagine if your own daughter suddenly told you that she was pregnant, and then pointed to a college student who was still wet behind the ears and said, "He is very good." Then Lin Xuan would probably break all his legs. The current situation seems to be similar. Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xuan's nervous look and burst out laughing. Har har har, don't worry. My mother has always been very gentle. Besides, I will help you. Honey, you said you would give me a kiss in the afternoon at Jinghai Plaza. Li Mengyao was stunned, this change was too fast. Suddenly, Lin Xuan felt a warmth on his neck, accompanied by a faint fragrance and a slight pain. Wife, you're still biting me. Lin Xuan touched his cheek that had just been kissed and smiled slightly. HMPH I'm going to sleep, good night. Li Mengyao turned her head away so that Lin Xuan wouldn't see her pretty face, which was already flushed. Lin Xuan has become accustomed to Li Mengyao's personality of flirting with him and then running away. Then he gently hugged Li Mengyao from behind and fell asleep together. The next morning, after breakfast, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao are preparing to set off for Jinghai City. Jinghai City is a fourth-tier small city in Hai Province, a 4-hour drive from the provincial capital Jinghai City. Lin Xian's hometown, Yunhai City, is a third-tier city, so it is less than 3 hours' drive from Jinghai City. Lin Xuan, why don't we drive the Xiaomi Su7? Li Mengyao held Lin Xian's hand. Why? Lin Xuan looked confused. He still liked that Maybach very much. He used to see. It's not that your parents-in-law are not hospitable, it's that you don't drive a Maybach. What Maybach has set up is not a symbol, but a waist that has not been able to straighten up for more than 10 years. I've gone off topic. Because I feel that driving a Maybach is a bit too ostentatious. Li Mengyao muttered with her little hand. What's wrong with being a little ostentatious? I went to beg your mother for permission. Otherwise I'll seem too stingy. Besides, it takes 4 hours to drive there and 8 hours to go there and back. If you drive a Xiaomi electric car, you have to charge it, which is a bit troublesome. I have to rely on this Maybach to keep my head up straight. Lin Xuan pinched Li Mengyao's little face. Okay. Li Mengyao looked at the purple Xiaomi SU7 parked nearby. She had never driven it before. Lin Xuan saw what his wife was thinking and said gently. When we come back, you can drive the Xiaomi SU7 to go for a ride with your bestie. Li Mengyao showed a sweet smile. The two arrived at the parking lot. Lin Xuan opened the back seat of the Maybach and said to Li Mengyao. Because we are going to the highway, for safety reasons, honey, you should sit in the back seat. It is best for pregnant women not to sit in the front passenger seat, especially when driving at high speed. After Li Mengyao sat quietly, Lin Xuan walked around to the driver's seat and started the car. The Maybach drove towards Jinghai City like a shining pearl. Chapter 14. Actually, I'm pregnant. While the Maybach was driving, Lin Xuan glanced at Li Mengyao through the rearview mirror. At this time, Li Mengyao was supporting her chin with one hand, looking out the window quietly, humming a little tune from time to time, with a happy smile on her face. Wife, it's going to take 4 hours to drive. Don't you want to take a nap? Lin Xuan asked gently. I just woke up this morning and I'm not sleepy anymore. And I'll be able to see my mother soon, so I can't sleep even more. Li Mengyao smiled brightly, her eyes curved with joy. Then tell me about life in Stillwater. Lin Xuan wanted to know more about the city where Li Mengyao grew up. If you like someone, you want to know more about that person's previous life. Let me tell you, Jinghai City is only a small 4th-tier city, with a slow pace of life and not very prosperous. But it is full of human touch, warmth and harmony among neighbors. Also, the night in Jinghai City has soft lights, which makes people feel a sense of tranquility and warmth. My home is in the old city, and there is a small park downstairs. When I was a kid, I often played hide and seek in the park. One time, my mother couldn't find me and got really angry, but I was scolded afterwards. Also, there is a very, very cute tabby cat in the small park. I wonder if it recognizes me. When talking about Li Mengyao's hometown, her eyes sparkled with joy and she shared it with Lin Xuan incessantly. While driving, Lin Xuan listened quietly. Perhaps because she was tired, Li Mengyao leaned on the car seat and fell asleep quietly. 4 hours passed quickly, and Lin Xuan drove out of the Jinghai city toll station and parked on the side of the road. "Wife, we're here." Lin Xuan gently pinched Li Mengyao's soft face. Are we there yet?" Li Mengyao rubbed her sleepy eyes. She looked a little silly, having just woken up. What came into view was the city that Li Mengyao was familiar with. "Have you called your aunt?" Lin Xuan asked gently. "Not yet, I'll call now." Li Mengyao immediately took out her cell phone. "Hey, Mom, we're almost there." "You're here, Mom has already prepared the food, including your favorite braised fish." A gentle voice came from the phone. "We set out at 8 a.m. and it was already 12 p.m. We just got off the highway and are going back now." Li Mengyao replied. After hanging up the phone, Lin Xuan started the car and soon arrived at Li Mengyao's home. Although the houses in this old town are a bit old, it is full of life with people coming and going. Li Mengyao's home is a standard 140 square meter small commercial house, not too big or too small, but living on the 8th floor, climbing the stairs is still a bit tiring. Lin Xuan carried 2 large bags of gifts and climbed to the 8th floor with Li Mengyao. After seeing the familiar door of their home, Li Mengyao took out the key to open the door. "Mom, I'm back." A middle-aged woman with a kind face, long eyebrows and beautiful appearance came up to me. Her almond eyes were as bright as stars. Although time had left marks on her skin, it did not affect her beauty. Instead, it made her exude a unique mature charm. Li Mengyao instantly threw herself into Huang Shifang's arms, and the mother and daughter hugged each other tightly. "I'm glad you're back. Yao Yao, have you gained weight recently?" Huang Shifang touched Li Mengyao's pretty head and asked happily. No. Li Mengyao blushed and said softly. At this time, Huang Shifang began to look at Lin Xuan with gentle eyes. "Hello, auntie. I'm Li Mengyao's boyfriend. My name is Lin Xuan. Nice to meet you, auntie. This is a gift for you." As he said that, Lin Xuan handed over 2 large bags of gifts. "Hello, what are you bringing with you? Don't do this next time. Come in quickly," Huang Shifang said with a smile after taking it. Entering Li Mengyao's home, although it is a bit old, the whole house is tidy, clean and tidy, and the furniture is neatly arranged, giving people a feeling of comfort and tranquility. "Are you all hungry? Come, wash your hands and eat," Huang Shifang said with a smile. On the table were stir-fried pork belly with green peppers, braised prawns, boiled fish fillets, braised fish and scrambled eggs with tomatoes. These are all Li Mengyao's favorite dishes. "Xiaoxian, don't be polite, just treat it as your own home. Try auntie's cooking," Huang Shifang said gently. Li Mengyao sat down next to Lin Xuan and started eating. "Yao Yao, Xiaoxian hasn't even started eating yet, but you're already eating with big mouthfuls. That's so unruly." Huang Shifang pretended to be angry, but his eyes were full of smiles. "Mom Tilder, I'm really hungry." Li Mengyao pouted and said proudly. Seeing that the mother and daughter had a very good relationship, Lin Xuan smiled happily. He peeled a few prawns for Li Mengyao before starting to eat. "Auntie, the food you cook is so delicious," Lin Xuan said. Although the home cooking of Huang Shifang is not as good as that of a 5-star chef, it is very warm and has a homely taste. "If it tastes good, eat more," Huang Shifang said gently. Li Mengyao also picked up a few pieces of pork belly for Lin Xuan and said happily. "Lin Xuan, this is delicious, try it." "Thank you, old." Li Mengyao glared and mouthed, "My mother is still here." Lin Xuan had no choice but to swallow the word, wife. Huang Shifang smiled gently when she saw Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao being so affectionate with each other. "How did you two meet?" Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao were both stunned for a moment and looked at each other. We met at a school party," Li Mengyao said a little nervously. "Yes, that's right. I fell in love with Mengyao at first sight." Lin Xuan also agreed. Huang Shifang looked at the two of them with gentle eyes and noticed that her daughter was a little flustered, but she didn't say anything. After lunch, Huang Shifang cleaned up the dishes and washed them in the kitchen. Lin Xuan wanted to help but was rejected. Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao had no choice but to return to the living room and sit quietly. Li Mengyao took Lin Xuan's hand and asked, "Lin Xuan, are you nervous?" Of course I'm nervous, but we'll have to face it eventually. Lin Xuan held the pink little hand back, interlocking their fingers. It's already this late, and you're still not serious. Li Mengyao rolled her eyes and gently hit him with her other little hand. My mother is gentle and generous, she won't hit anyone. After Wang Shifang finished the kitchen, she returned to the living room and sat opposite the two of them with a smile on her face. What are you two whispering about? Xiao Xian, why did you buy so many expensive items? Auntie can't afford it. Wang Shifang looked at these health products and jewelry, all of which were famous brands and expensive, probably costing tens of thousands of dollars. Auntie, these are just some tokens of my appreciation for our first meeting. Please accept them. Lin Xuan said in a firm tone. Wang Shifang saw her daughter looking nervous and knew something must have happened. Yao Yao, are you hiding something from your mother? Wang Shifang asked gently. Li Mengyao hesitated for a moment and finally made up her mind. Mom, I want to tell you something. Go ahead, Mom's listening. Mom, actually I'm pregnant. Chapter 15. Are you such a mom? Wang Shifang guessed that her daughter was hiding something from her. Maybe she wanted to live with Lin Xuan, or maybe she wanted to marry Lin Xuan. She guessed all of this. I never expected that my daughter would get pregnant. Wang Shifang's eyes widened at this time, full of shock and confusion. Yao Yao, are you kidding me? Li Mengyao lowered her head and said guiltily. Mom, I'm sorry. At this time, Lin Xuan stood up and said in a firm tone. Auntie, it's all my fault. I made Mengyao pregnant. Don't worry, I will take good care of Mengyao. If you are not satisfied, just beat me up. I will let you do whatever you want, Auntie. Wang Shifang closed her eyes and frowned. She knew her daughter would not lie to her about being pregnant, but she still couldn't accept it. The daughter she had raised with so much effort was. Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao held their hands tightly together, as if this could provide invisible strength. After a while, Wang Shifang opened his eyes, with a hint of anger, but still in a gentle tone, he said. Yao Yao, come into the house and talk to Mom. Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xuan with panic eyes, and Lin Xuan responded with a firm look to comfort her. Then the mother and daughter entered the room and closed the door. Yao Yao, what's going on? Why are you? Wang Shifang asked tremblingly. Lin Xuan and I couldn't help it for a moment. Li Mengyao said with red eyes. Seeing that her daughter was about to cry, Wang Shifang softened her tone and spoke gently. Mom is not against you finding a boyfriend, but you are moving too fast. Mom asks you, do you like Lin Xuan? I like it. Li Mengyao said with a firm face. Wang Shifang touched his forehead helplessly. I trust my daughter's judgment. I think he is handsome and polite. He is a good guy. But I'm still angry about the fact that he made you pregnant before marriage. Li Mengyao clenched her hands tightly together and spoke in a low voice. In fact, I also have a lot of responsibility for this matter. I approached him first. You are. Wang Shifang sat weakly on the bed. Mom, when Lin Xuan found out I was pregnant, he immediately said he would take responsibility. He has been taking good care of me during this period. I really like Lin Xuan. Li Mengyao also sat next to her mother, holding her hands tightly. Did he propose to you? Wang Shifang asked. He said that once he gets your consent, they will get married. Li Mengyao's face turned slightly red. It seems that Lin Xuan still respects the opinions of his elders. At this time, Wang Shifang's favorability towards Lin Xuan has increased a little. Lin Xuan, who was in the living room at this time, was nervous and sweaty, wondering why the two of them took so long to go in, whether the aunt would disagree in the end. Just when Lin Xuan was still daydreaming, the mother and daughter walked out of the room and sat opposite Lin Xuan. The difference is that just now Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao were sitting next to each other, but this time the mother and daughter were sitting next to each other. Wang Shifang looked at Lin Xuan and said in a gentle tone. Lin Xuan, Auntie will ask you a few questions. Don't worry, Auntie won't hit you. Besides, I am too old to hit you. Auntie, please ask. Lin Xuan sat up straight and said in a firm tone. I already know what happened. You said you would be responsible for Yao Yao, so how are you going to take responsibility? I am going to get your consent, Auntie, and I will get married right away, and I will give Mengyao a grand wedding. Where are you going to live then? You can't keep renting a house while you're pregnant. Huang Shifang thinks that if the two are still in love, there is no problem with renting a house, but now Li Mengyao is pregnant, and she can't live in a rented house after the child is born. Auntie, I have already bought a house. This is the one Mengyao and I live in now. Look, these are photos and property certificates. Lin Xuan opened his cell phone and handed it to Huang Shifang. Huang Shifang took a look. Although she had not been to big cities much, she could tell at a glance that the housing in this community was not cheap. What surprised her even more was that the property certificate was written in the names of both Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao. This made Huang Shifang's favorable impression on Lin Xuan increase again. Nowadays, many men who buy houses before marriage are unwilling to add the woman's name. So what kind of job do you plan to do after graduation? Huang Shifang continued to ask. I have no plans to work yet. I plan to take care of Mengyao during this period. I will make plans after the baby is born and Mengyao is out of confinement. Of course, I have not been idle during this period. I will make some investments. Lin Xuan said. With such a powerful system, who would still work? Wouldn't it be better to just be a good father? So what do your parents mean? Huang Shifang asked puzzledly. My parents came to see Mengyao and me a few days ago. They like Mengyao very much. After you gave me a beating, you told me to go and apologize to you, auntie. Lin Xuan suddenly stood up at this moment, and said with a firm look and tone. Auntie, please rest assured and leave your daughter to me. I will take good care of Mengyao. Li Mengyao also stood up and ran to Lin Xuan's side. She held Lin Xuan's hand tightly and looked at Huang Shifang with a firm look. Huang Shifang looked at the two of them and shook his head helplessly. When Lin Xuan saw his aunt shaking her head, he suddenly felt a pang in his heart. Could it be that his aunt disagreed? Li Mengyao saw her mother shaking her head and her eyes began to turn slightly red. It's already a done deal, and you two are in love with each other, can aunt still object? I just didn't expect to be a grandmother so soon. Huang Shifang looked at the two of them, shook his head involuntarily, and then smiled slightly. Mom. Li Mengyao couldn't help but her eyes turned red. Thank you, auntie. Lin Xuan thanked her in surprise and wiped Mengyao's tears with a tissue. Lin Xuan, remember your promise. My daughter and I have lived together since childhood and have suffered a lot, so I don't want my daughter to continue to suffer in the future. If I find out that Yao Yao is not doing well, I will definitely settle the score with you. Huang Shifang changed his previous gentle tone and spoke in an unusually firm tone. Okay. Auntie, you can move in with us. Our place is big enough. This way you and Mengyao can continue to be together, Lin Xuan said with a smile. As an old man, I won't live with you young people. Besides, I have lived in Jinghai city for most of my life, and I am not used to living in a big city. I will be very happy if you come back often to visit me. Huang Shifang smiled. Well, it's getting late. Lin Xuan, you are tired from driving, go back to the house and rest. Huang Shifang urged. Li Mengyao went back to the guest room and looked around, then said. Mom, didn't you clean up the guest room for Lin Xuan? Huang Shifang looked at her silly daughter, smiled and said. Lin Xuan will sleep with you, in your room. Li Mengyao? Are you such a mother? Chapter 16 Old Husband. Lin Xuan walked into Li Mengyao's room. The room was decorated warmly and elegantly, with pink walls and a soft bed. The bookshelf was filled with various books, full of the feminine atmosphere of a girl. Li Mengyao smiled and said, Lin Xuan, let's go to bed. Lin Xuan changed into pajamas and lay on the bed without saying anything. Li Mengyao turned her head away in shame. Wife, now that auntie agrees, shouldn't you call me husband? We're not married yet. I'm going to change my clothes, you turn around. Li Mengyao said with a red face. Call me husband and I'll turn around. Lin Xuan said with a grin. Husband. Li Mengyao's voice was mixed with a hint of annoyance, and she glared at him at the same time. Lin Xuan then turned around happily and faced Li Mengyao with his back. After changing her clothes, Li Mengyao climbed gently onto the bed and hugged Lin Xuan. Suddenly, a clear voice sounded in Lin Xuan's mind. Ding dong, congratulations to their host for passing the mother-in-law's test. A reward of a king-class apartment in Times Garden, Jinghai City. Please check it. The system appears again. Another house for free this time. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for triggering the lottery mechanism. You will be awarded a chance to draw a prize. The prize pool includes 1. A 3x cash crit card, 2. An exclusive fish recipe book, 3. A free voucher for store decoration, 4. Thank you for your patronage. Excuse me, host, would you like to draw a lottery? The system also has a lottery mode. From this point of view, as long as you don't win the lottery, you will make a lot of money. I am willing to spend the conditions of my roommate Zhu Quan's big guarantee every time he plays Yuanshan to exchange for the top 3. Lottery. Ding dong, congratulations to the host for winning a free voucher for store decoration. It has been placed on the desk of Jinghai Mansion, please check it. The system is really thoughtful. Now the decoration of the luxurious store in Jinghai Plaza has been settled. Ding dong, a warm reminder, the result of this host's lucky draw should be thank you for your patronage. But the host successfully used Zhu Quan's big guarantee every time, so it was changed to a free redemption coupon for store decoration. You can still play like this, Quana, I'm sorry, laughing wildly. When Lin Xuan came back to his senses, Li Mengyao was already sleeping quietly. Then they both fell into a sweet dream together. On the other side, Zhu Quan, who was far away in the dormitory of Jinghai University, was clicking on the prayer button in disbelief. I believed your lies. Why is it another big guarantee? I've won the big guarantee 4 times in a row. Me haha, come out here. Zhu Quan roared angrily. Chen Jingming glanced at it with disdain, took out his computer and fired 10 shots in a row in front of Zhu Quan. Woohoo! Golden legend. Double yoke. You'd better give up this game as soon as possible. It's against you. Chen Jingming patted Zhu Quan. I'm going to fight you. Zhu Quan roared angrily in the dormitory. The two of them started to make moves. 2 hours later, Li Mengyao was still sleeping soundly. Lin Xuan woke up first and tiptoed out of the room. At this moment, the phone suddenly rang. It was an unfamiliar number. Lin Xuan pressed the answer button. Hello, is this Mr. Lin? Yes. It's like this. I'm the sales manager of Times Home. The 1201, Building A, Times Home that you purchased is ready. When are you free to come and check it? Can I go tomorrow? Of course, I'll wait for you tomorrow. After hanging up the phone, Lin Xuan sighed at the high efficiency of the system. Lin Xuan, are you awake? Come and talk to Auntie. When Lin Xuan walked into the living room, he saw Wang Shifang sitting on the sofa, looking at him kindly. Yeah, I just woke up. Mengyao is still sleeping. What do you think of this girl Mengyao? Wang Shifang suddenly asked. Mengyao is gentle and kind, gentle and elegant, but also strong and courageous. She never backs down in the face of difficulties and always brings me the warmth of home. Lin Xuan said with a smile. Mengyao lost her father when she was young and lacked fatherly love, so she is very independent, has a strong self-esteem, and is also a little sensitive. So Auntie would like to ask you to be more humble. Auntie is leaving her only daughter to you. Please treat her well. Wang Shifang looked at Lin Xuan with gentle eyes. Don't worry, Auntie. I will take good care of Mengyao. Lin Xuan responded firmly. Then Auntie will be relieved. By the way, what do you want to eat in the evening? I will make it for you. Wang Shifang asked. Auntie, can I cook with you tonight? I want to ask you for advice on how to make the dishes that Mengyao made at home. Even though Lin Xuan has the skills of a 5-star chef, he can only bring out the best in the ingredients and cannot replicate the taste of Li Mengyao's home. Do you really want to learn? Wang Shifang was surprised and relieved at the same time. Nowadays, there are very few men who can cook for their wives. Well, I think when Mengyao wants to eat the taste of her childhood home, I can make it anytime. Okay, Auntie will teach you. Wang Shifang smiled and walked into the kitchen. In the evening, after dinner, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao decided to go out for a walk. The two held hands and came to a nearby small park. Although the park was small, it was well planned, with green trees and colorful flowers. Under the illumination of the night, the lights were soft, creating a quiet and peaceful atmosphere. Lin Xuan, this is the small park I often visited when I was a kid. What do you think? A hint of happiness flashed across Li Mengyao's face. This park is nice and warm, but what? Li Mengyao asked puzzledly. But you called me the wrong name just now, you should call me husband. Lin Xuan pulled Li Mengyao into his arms. I'm not used to it. Li Mengyao lowered her head and blushed. You'll get used to it after calling me a few times. Lin Xuan lifted Li Mengyao's chin and asked her to look at him. Husband. Li Mengyao said softly. Chapter 17, Isn't he a kiss on the cheek? Looking at Li Mengyao's charming eyes and slightly open mouth, she gives people an indescribable temptation. If it weren't for the crowds around the small park. Meow tilde. A clear and pleasant meow came from under Li Mengyao's feet. Har tilde Xiaoli, you are still here. Li Mengyao came out of Lin Xuan's arms, squatted down, and gently stroked the cat's soft fur with her little hands. This tabby cat has colorful fur, clear facial features, soft and shiny fur with unique patterns, eyes as crystal clear as amber, and is fat. It doesn't look like a stray cat at all. This is the kitten I used to feed. It was just a little kitten at that time, super cute. I didn't expect you still remembered me. While stroking the cat, Li Mengyao looked back at Lin Xuan and said with a smile. At this time, Xiaoli squinted his eyes and enjoyed Li Mengyao's touch. It's really cute, you can't tell it's a stray cat at all. Lin Xuan squatted down and stretched out his hand to touch the little cat, but the little cat dodged lightly and meowed. You don't know him well, so of course I won't let you touch him. But I have a plan. Then Li Mengyao took out a small bag of snacks from her bag and handed it to Lin Xuan. Put the snacks in your hand and the little raccoon will come over. Li Mengyao tucked her hair behind her ears and smiled quietly. I'll try. Lin Xuan put the snack in the palm of his hand and handed it to Xiaoli. Sure enough, the little fox walked up to Lin Xuan with light steps and licked him gently with its little tongue. After a while, the snacks were licked clean, and the little fox did not forget to lick Lin Xuan's palm with his tongue. Har har har, it's quite itchy. Lin Xuan gently stroked the little fox's soft fur with his hand. After feeding the little raccoon, the two of them strolled around for a while and then went back. At night, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao were lying on the bed playing with their cell phones. The two of them were now lying on the same bed naturally. Wife, I'll take you somewhere tomorrow. Lin Xuan spoke first. Where are you taking me? Li Mengyao blinked confusedly. This is her hometown, and I'll be the one taking you there. Then Li Mengyao thought about it, turned around and hugged Lin Xuan's waist with her little hands, pouted her lips cutely, raised her head and said proudly. Are you hiding something from me again? Yes, there is something, but it's a good thing. Lin Xuan could not hide the doting in his eyes. Go ahead, tilde. Tell me. Li Mengyao hummed in Lin Xuan's arms, rubbing her delicate little face against Lin Xuan's face. If you don't tell me, I'll ignore you. Li Mengyao raised her head again, pouted her little mouth and said proudly. Okay, I can say it, but wife, you have to give me a kiss. Lin Xuan took the opportunity to put forward conditions. Then just kiss me. Li Mengyao hesitated slightly and spoke in a low voice. Li Mengyao thought, it was just a kiss on the cheek, she wasn't that shy anymore. Lin Xuan gently lifted Li Mengyao's chin, slowly approached her tempting cherry mouth, and then kissed her mouth. Li Mengyao, isn't it a kiss on the cheek? After a long time, the two lips separated. You asked me to kiss you. Lin Xuan was extremely thick-skinned. Li Mengyao was so angry at this time that she raised her jade hand and pinched Lin Xuan's soft flesh. It hurts, wife, I was wrong. Seeing this, Lin Xuan quickly begged for mercy. Li Mengyao twisted Lin Xuan's waist hard several times before she slowly calmed down. Lin Xuan knew that his wife was no longer angry, so he hugged her again and said gently. Okay, it's getting late, we should go to bed. Tilde, Li Mengyao said softly. Then they fell asleep together. The next day, the two of them slept until 9 o'clock. Huang Shifang had already left breakfast and went to work. At the dinner table, Li Mengyao was enjoying her breakfast quietly. Suddenly, she recalled what happened yesterday, and her little face turned red again. Suddenly, she realized a problem. Lin Xuan still didn't say where he was going yesterday. And why is Lin Xuan so skilled? Lin Xuan looked at his wife, whose face turned red again, and asked. Wife, what's wrong with you? Li Mengyao shook her head slightly, glared at Lin Xuan, and said angrily. Nothing. Lin Xuan saw that Li Mengyao was angry again, and he must be thinking about yesterday. But we are getting ready to get married, so there is nothing wrong with that. Li Mengyao slowly raised her eyelids, which had been lowered, stared into his eyes and couldn't help asking. Why are you so skilled? Lin Xuan couldn't help but be slightly stunned. He didn't expect Li Mengyao to ask this. Boys are naturally gifted in this area, and they will learn it as they kiss each other. Li Mengyao thought of a very important thing. Her first kiss was given to Lin Xuan, but was it Lin Xuan's first kiss? You will learn it by kissing. Have you kissed many times before? If not, which girl did he give his first kiss to? Li Mengyao bit her lip in frustration and continued to ask. So, is this your first kiss? Tell the truth. Lin Xuan suddenly felt a sense of crisis and hurriedly hugged Li Mengyao. What are you doing? Tell me if it is true. Li Mengyao punched Lin Xuan angrily. Lin Xuan gently scratched Li Mengyao's nose and said with a smile. Of course I did. Last night was my first kiss. Li Mengyao felt shy for a moment, and subconsciously pulled up her hair to cover her slightly red cheeks, and spoke in a low voice. Oh. After breakfast, the two came to the Maybach parked downstairs. Lin Xuan helped Li Mengyao sit in the passenger seat, then drove around and returned to the driver's seat. You haven't told me where you're going yet. Li Mengyao stared at Lin Xuan with her eyes as bright as a deer. To the Garden of Time. Lin Xuan started the car and drove slowly forward. Chapter 18. This is me, my husband. The unique body of Maybach shines brightly as it races through the streets of Jinghai city, attracting the attention of people around. You should know that in Jinghai, a small fourth-tier city, a Maybach S680 worth more than 3 million yuan is rare. The two soon arrived at Times Garden. Lin Xuan parked the car and walked to the gate holding Li Mengyao's hand. The gate of Times Garden is like a magnificent arch, majestic, solemn and dignified, demonstrating dignity and elegance. Although it is not as good as the river view houses in big cities, this is also a high-end community. Because it is fully decorated, it costs 10,000 yuan per square meter. Husband, have you been buying random things again? Li Mengyao hesitated slightly, but still said she was not used to it. No, these are the things I should buy. It's not considered random buying. Lin Xuan said with a smile. Do you dislike my old house? Li Mengyao asked in a low voice with her head down. Yes, Lin Xuan's family is so well off, he must not be used to living in that old house. Now that Lin Xuan brought her to see Times Garden, he must have bought it. Lin Xuan saw what his wife was thinking, squeezed her little hand, and said gently. No, I stayed very comfortably yesterday. But this is not a long-term solution, and it will have to be replaced in the future. I don't want my future mother-in-law to climb the 8th floor every day. Besides, this place is close to my aunt's work schedule, so I don't have to squeeze on the bus every morning. Besides, we will come back often in the future, so it's just convenient to buy them together. Huang Shifang has not yet reached retirement age and is still working in a nearby shopping mall. Li Mengyao hugged Lin Xuan tightly with both hands, raised her head and looked at him, her eyes full of admiring little stars. Thank you, husband. Lin Xuan took advantage of the situation and held Li Mengyao's waist, leaned over and kissed her on the face, then smiled cheerfully. Thank your husband with practical actions. Li Mengyao's face began to turn red, and she whispered, still outside. Okay, stop messing around, let's go in and take a look. Then Lin Xuan picked up his phone and called the manager of Times Garden yesterday. Hello, manager. I am Mr. Lin, who purchased room 1201, Building A, Times Garden yesterday. Can I check it now? Hello, Mr. Lin. Of course. Where are you now? I'll be there right away. I'm at the gate now. Please wait a moment. I'll be there soon. After a while, a young man in a neat suit and with a confident smile trotted over. Hello, Mr. Lin, I am the manager of Times Garden, my last name is Huang. Hello, Manager Huang, can you take us over now? Of course, both of you, please come this way. Manager Huang dared not neglect it at all. Mr. Lin bought the king of the building in Times Garden, and it was a mid-rise building, one of the most expensive houses in the entire community. In the end, he paid in full. Is this your first time in Times Garden? Manager Huang asked with a smile. Yes, this is our first time here. Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao looked left and right, taking in the environment of the community. The first time he came here, he bought a house worth more than 2 million. How rich is that? Then let me give you a brief introduction. The reason why Times Garden is called a garden is because its greening rate is as high as 50%. When you enter from the gate, you can see lush vegetation and colorful flowers, just like a gorgeous painting. The paths in the garden are winding, the plants on both sides are arranged in an orderly manner, various flowers are competing for beauty, and pavilions and towers are dotted among them, forming a beautiful landscape that makes people feel relaxed and happy. To put it simply, the community environment of our Times Garden is second to none in Jinghai City. No other community dares to claim to be first. Following Manager Huang's introduction, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao both nodded with satisfaction. We soon arrived at Building A of Times Garden. The design of the building's king block was obviously more prominent and grander than that of other buildings. Then they took the elevator to the door of 1201. Manager Huang took out the key and opened the door, and Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao walked in. The house is also 200 square meters, with 4 bedrooms and 2 living rooms. The decoration is quite good and the workmanship is quite meticulous. You get what you pay for. It's expensive for a reason, but there's no furniture, and it will have to be renovated later. It seems that I will have to work for a while before I can move in. Lin Xuan held Li Mengyao's hand and came to the large balcony. The view from the king floor balcony overlooked the entire Times Garden, and the view was quite good. Wife, what do you think? Lin Xuan looked at Li Mengyao gently. It's very beautiful. It has a completely different style from the Jinghai mansion we live in Jinghai City. Li Mengyao smiled, looking very happy. Manager Huang was very happy to see that the two people in front of him were very satisfied. He had closed a big order and could get a lot of commission. If there are no problems, just sign here. Manager Huang handed Lin Xuan a sales contract. After reading it carefully, Lin Xuan signed his name. Then congratulations to both of you for becoming distinguished owners of Times Garden. If you have any further questions, please feel free to contact me. I won't bother you anymore. Manager Huang left after saying this. After Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao carefully inspected the new house again, they took the elevator downstairs together and prepared to go to the nearby shopping mall to pick up their aunt after get off work. Just as the two of them walked out of Building A of Times Garden, a crisp voice rang in their ears. Mengyao! Mengyao, it's really you, you're home. The person who came was a girl with a fresh and beautiful appearance. Although she was not very stunning, her smile was charming. Ting Ting? I didn't expect to meet you here. Li Mengyao smiled happily. Mengyao, we haven't been together for a long time, give me a hug. Then the two of them hugged each other happily. It was then that Chen Tingting discovered that there was a super handsome guy behind Li Mengyao. Mengyao, why don't you introduce yourself to me? Chen Tingting squinted at Li Mengyao. Mengyao, I haven't seen you for a few months. Not only have you become more and more beautiful, but you also have such a handsome boyfriend. Wow. Li Mengyao turned around and took Lin Xuan's arm, blinked her elegant eyes gently, and said with a smile. Tingting, let me introduce you, this is me, my husband, Lin Xuan. Although they are not married yet, they have a child and have done everything they should and shouldn't do, so Li Mengyao simply introduced him as her husband. Chen Tingting widened her eyes, finding it unbelievable. After just a few months of not seeing each other, Li Mengyao was already married? Honey, this is my childhood friend, Chen Tingting. Li Mengyao continued to introduce. Chen Tingting quickly pulled Li Mengyao aside and said with tears in her eyes. Mengyao, tell me this isn't true. Li Mengyao was a little at a loss and blinked blankly. It's true. Chapter 19. My mom is still here. We haven't seen each other for just a few months, and you're getting married? Chen Tingting asked. Not married yet, but it should be soon. Li Mengyao's face turned red. She secretly glanced at Lin Xuan and found that he was looking at her, so she quickly turned her head away. Chen Tingting looked at them flirting with each other and said helplessly. Yao, you really have him in your grasp. Well, he is very nice to me. Li Mengyao nodded gently. Chen Tingting smiled and said. Well, as a good sister, of course I will bless you. But if Li Jia and the others knew that you were planning to get married, they would probably howl like ghosts tonight, har har har. Li Mengyao, don't talk nonsense, they and I have always been ordinary friends. Chen Tingting waved her hand. I know, you never gave them any chances. By the way, why are you in Times Garden? Chen Tingting moved to Times Garden not long ago. His parents sponsored a lot of money, and he was able to barely buy a small apartment of less than 100 square meters. Li Mengyao, we came to see the house and are ready to go back now. Chen Tingting didn't think much about it and said, "Oh, okay, come to my house next time you have time. I tell you, the view from my house is amazing." She remembered that Li Mengyao's family situation was not very good, and it was unlikely that she could afford such an expensive community. She was probably just looking at it. "Okay, we'll have plenty of opportunities to play together in the future." Li Mengyao smiled slightly, walked quickly back to Lin Xuan's side, took his arm, and said gently, "Sorry for the wait." Lin Xuan pinched Li Mengyao's little face and smiled. "What did you talk about?" Li Mengyao shook her head and smiled happily. "Nothing, just a simple reminiscence." "Okay, let's go back then." Lin Xuan took Li Mengyao and prepared to walk towards the parking lot. Suddenly, a shout came from behind. Mr. Lin, please wait a moment. I saw Manager Huang running over here quickly." After finally catching up with Lin Xuan, Manager Huang gasped for breath. "Manager Huang, do you have anything else to say?" Lin Xuan asked puzzledly. I forgot to give you the key to the community access control. I'm very sorry." Manager Huang handed the key to Lin Xuan while panting. "I almost forgot, thank you." Lin Xuan picked up the key and left with Li Mengyao. Not far away, Chen Tingting, who had not yet left, was very puzzled when she saw Manager Huang. "Isn't this the sales manager I bought the house from? Could it be that Li Mengyao and her husband have already bought it?" Then Chen Tingting walked up and asked, "Hello, Manager Huang, do you remember me?" Manager Huang turned to look at Chen Tingting and said embarrassedly, I don't quite remember. May I ask what can I do for you?" "I'm Miss Chen who bought 3201 in Building E a few months ago." Chen Tingting said angrily that before the deal was completed, she called every day to ask if I wanted to buy a house and if there were any discounts during this period, but now she doesn't recognize me. "Oh, I remember now. You bought the top floor, right?" "Sorry, I've been having a lot of clients lately, so I can't remember it right now." "What do you want to talk to me about?" asked Manager Huang. "Chen Tingting, I want to ask if those two people just now also bought Times Garden." Manager Huang: "Yes, they are the distinguished guests of Times Garden. They bought the 12th floor of Building A, the king of the building, and paid in full." Chen Tingting widened her eyes in shock. "The best apartments in this building are all large 200 square meter apartments, mid-rise buildings, and cost more than 2 million yuan. Looking back at my own life, I had no choice but to choose the top floor because of lack of funds." Just now she was so proud to invite Li Mengyao to her house, how embarrassing. But she was also really happy for Mengyao, as it seemed she had met the right person. Then Chen Tingting took out her phone and said in a group chat, "I just met your goddess, but she seems to be getting married, so you don't have a chance," laughing expression. "This isn't true. Tell me this isn't true. Whoever kidnapped my goddess, I will beat him up. Aren't you planning to get married?" "I still have a chance," dog head expression. On the other side, Lin Xuan took Li Mengyao to the supermarket to buy some vegetables, and then came to Heping Shopping Mall. Huang Shifang worked at Heping Shopping Mall and it was time for him to get off work. People in the mall would see a black and slender Maybach parked at the door after get off work. Although some people didn't know how much it cost, they could tell at a glance that it was a luxury car and must be very expensive. At this time, Huang Shifang and her colleague Chen Li were getting off work and preparing to take the bus home. The two of them walked and talked, and Chen Li began to set her sights on Huang Shifang's daughter. "Shifang, do you want to reconsider? My boy works in a state-owned enterprise, and his salary and benefits are quite good." "No need, Chen Li, my daughter already has a boyfriend." Huang Shifang declined tactfully. When did it happen? What job does your daughter's boyfriend do?" Chen Li was a little surprised. "He hasn't graduated yet." Huang Shifang didn't want to reveal too much. "Not graduated yet? That means you don't have a job yet. Let me tell you, it's hard to find a job nowadays. Look, my son works in a state-owned enterprise, and every year many people rush to get a job." Chen Li boasted. Huang Shifang thought about how Chen Li's son always acted arrogantly and looked down on others. She also heard that he was very unfaithful and changed girlfriends frequently. How could she possibly give her daughter to such a man? Just when Wang Shifang came out to wait for the bus, a dark and slender Maybach stopped in front of them. "Mom, I'm here to take you home." Li Mengyao stuck her head out and smiled brightly. "Yao Yao, is this your car?" Wang Shifang asked in shock. Although she doesn't know much about cars, she can still roughly tell the difference between ordinary cars and luxury cars. "Auntie, get in the car. We have already bought the food for lunch. I'll show my skills to Auntie when I get back," Lin Xuan said with a smile. At this time, Li Mengyao also discovered Chen Li next to her and asked happily, "Aunt Chen, are you going back too? Let us take you back." "No. No need. My son will come to pick me up later. You guys go back first, har har." Chen Li smiled awkwardly. "This is my son-in-law. I'll go back first." Wang Shifang turned around and said something to Chen Li, then sat in the back seat of the Maybach. Chen Li sat down on the next bus in a depressed mood. In the Maybach, Wang Shifang hesitated and couldn't help asking, "Lin Xuan, is this the car you bought?" "Yes, Auntie, I just bought it not long ago. It is convenient for taking Mengyao out." Lin Xuan drove steadily. Buying such an expensive car to travel. Lin Xuan's family must be very rich. Will the in-laws be difficult to talk to? Will they dislike our family? "Mom, doesn't Aunt Chen's son never pick her up from get off work?" Li Mengyao asked curiously. "Yeah, she's just being stubborn. Her son won't come to pick her up at all. She always pestered me to introduce her son to you. I told her that I already had a son-in-law. Now that she has seen it with her own eyes, she should give up." Wang Shifang came back to her senses. Lin Xuan smiled and said, "It seems that my wife is still very popular. I have to keep a close eye on her." Li Mengyao's face instantly turned red. She glared at Lin Xuan and whispered, "My mom is still here." Wang Shifang covered her mouth and laughed in the back seat. Chapter 20, Morning Sickness. After returning home, Lin Xuan went to the kitchen and started cooking. Wang Shifang tried to help many times but was rejected, so she had to watch TV in the living room with her daughter. After a while, Lin Xuan prepared a table of dishes, including steamed turbot, mushroom and scallop soup, stir-fried beef with green onions, steamed spare ribs with garlic, and stir-fried broccoli. Because Li Mengyao loves fish, there is always a fish dish at every meal. Lin Xuan always cooked for Li Mengyao in different ways, and Li Mengyao's face was filled with a happy smile. "Dinner is ready," Lin Xuan shouted. "Lin Xuan, you cook so many dishes," Wang Shifang said with a smile. "Not much, just 4 dishes and 1 soup. Auntie, come and try my cooking." After saying that, Lin Xuan first picked up a large piece of fish for Li Mengyao, and then gave Wang Shifang a large piece of beef. Wang Shifang felt more reassured about Lin Xuan when she saw how well her future son-in-law took care of Yao Yao. This is better than many famous restaurants in Jinghai city. "Lin Xuan, who did you learn this cooking skill from? It's so delicious." Wang Shifang was shocked and exclaimed, "I used to cook when I had nothing to do at home. If it tastes good, eat more." Lin Xuan smiled. After a while, Lin Xuan saw that he had almost finished eating, so he said, "Auntie, I bought a new house in Times Garden. We'll move in together after the renovation is completed." Wang Shifang's heart skipped a beat, and he said in disbelief, "Lin Xuan, are you serious?" Lin Xuan nodded seriously. Wang Shifang was silent for a moment, thinking that the house in Times Garden was not cheap, and even if Lin Xuan had money, he couldn't spend it carelessly. Then he said to Lin Xuan, "How much will that cost?" "This house is a bit old, but it's still habitable." Lin Xuan, listen to Auntie and return the house," Lin Xuan said in a firm tone. "It's okay, Auntie. Just leave the old house as it is. Times Garden is very close to your workplace, so you don't have to climb up to the 8th floor anymore." Then he looked at Li Mengyao. "Besides, Mengyao and I will come back often in the future. Then the baby will be able to play in the neighborhood of Times Garden." Wang Shifang thought about it and finally agreed. They decided to move to Times Garden together after a while. After lunch, Lin Xuan wanted to clean up the dishes, but Wang Shifang snatched them away. With nothing to do, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao returned to the bedroom early. Lin Xuan hugged Li Mengyao with one arm and played with her hair with the other. "Honey, what kind of decoration style do you want for the new house?" Li Mengyao raised her beautiful eyebrows and said. The new Chinese style, the one in Jinghai mansion, is already a new minimalist style, let's try a different one this time. As he said this, he showed Lin Xuan the pictures he found on his phone. Okay, let's go check out the decoration companies and furniture stores in Jinghai City this afternoon. Okay, Tilda. Li Mengyao's eyes were full of bright light, and she was as happy as a little child. She soon fell asleep holding Lin Xuan. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Lin Xuan got up and looked at Li Mengyao, who was still sleeping in his arms. I couldn't bear to wake up this sleeping beauty, so I tiptoed out of the room. After a simple tidying up, Wang Shifang was seen walking out of the room and preparing to go to work. Auntie, let me take you to work. I just happened to be visiting a decoration company. Lin Xuan said with a smile. This is too troublesome. It's no trouble. I'm just sitting around doing nothing anyway. Afterwards, after Lin Xuan drove his Maybach to send Wang Shifang to Heping Shopping Mall, he went to visit some famous decoration companies in Jinghai City. I don't know how long it took, but Li Mengyao's little hands kept touching around the bed, as if she was looking for something. Where's my husband? The little hand turned around but couldn't find anything, which meant that Lin Xuan was no longer in the room. Li Mengyao rubbed her eyes gently, got up with difficulty, and walked out of the room. I searched the whole house but couldn't find Lin Xuan. Li Mengyao thought about it and took out her cell phone. Husband, where are you? Then the bear made an angry expression. 5 minutes later. Wife, are you awake? After seeing this, Li Mengyao directly made a video call. She didn't do it before because she was afraid that Lin Xuan was driving and it would be difficult to answer the video call. Soon, Lin Xuan's handsome face appeared on Li Mengyao's mobile phone screen. Why didn't you wake me up? We agreed to go together. Although her tone was calm, the expression between her eyebrows fully demonstrated that she was a little unhappy. I saw you were sleeping so soundly that I didn't call you. I've looked at several companies. I'll bring you the plans and renderings when the time comes. You can rest at home. Lin Xuan smiled and quickly started to make fun of him. Then you should come back soon. Lin Xuan was also thinking about her, so he stopped acting like a spoiled brat. I just checked the time and I slept until almost 5 o'clock. I sleep too much. I may not be able to get up even if Lin Xuan calls me. Okay, my dear wife, I'll be back after I pick up my aunt. Tilda. Then Li Mengyao hung up the phone, her face red. A wife is a wife, why at adults? Lin Xuan has been working hard all afternoon and should be hungry when he comes back. Let me cook dinner today and let Lin Xuan taste my cooking skills. Then Li Mengyao found the ingredients she bought at noon from the refrigerator and started to get busy in the kitchen. I didn't feel anything unusual at first, but halfway through, I suddenly felt nauseous. Li Mengyao covered her mouth, hurried to the toilet, and began to vomit violently. After vomiting for an unknown amount of time, Li Mengyao came out of the bathroom with a pale face. She picked up a small cup of water, drank some hot water, and sat on the sofa in a daze before she gradually came to her senses. I didn't expect my first morning sickness to be like this. Afterwards, the door was opened and Lin Xuan and Wang Shifang came back. I'm back. Lin Xuan smiled happily. Li Mengyao hurriedly stood up, walked quickly forward, threw herself into Lin Xuan's arms, and said in a hoarse voice, Welcome home. Lin Xuan felt something was wrong as soon as he heard it. The voice sounded like someone who had been crying. He looked at his wife in his arms and saw that her eyes were red with faint traces of tears and her lips were quite dry. Wife, what's wrong with you? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have left you alone at home. I won't do that again next time. Lin Xuan picked up Li Mengyao and gently placed her on the sofa. No. I was just trying to make you dinner. But halfway through, I felt really sick and vomited. Li Mengyao rubbed gently in Lin Xuan's arms and said in a soft voice. Wang Shifang looked at the two of them, knowing that she was now redundant, and said to Lin Xuan. Lin Xuan, I'm going to make dinner first, you take care of Yao Yao. Lin Xuan nodded to Wang Shifang, okay, auntie. Lin Xuan turned around and gently wiped away Li Mengyao's tears with a tissue. He felt distressed when he thought of Li Mengyao vomiting violently in the toilet. The first 3 months are the most common period for pregnant women to experience morning sickness. Lin Xuan had always given Li Mengyao small but frequent meals and refused to let her enter the kitchen, in order to avoid morning sickness as much as possible. However, it still happened. Don't go into the kitchen anymore. Leave all the housework to your husband, okay? Li Mengyao leaned in Lin Xuan's arms, the intense discomfort she had just felt disappeared, and she revealed a happy smile. Tilde. Chapter 21 I Can't Finish Eating. After dinner, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao went for a walk by the river. Jingshui River is the mother river of Jingshui City, so the residents of Jingshui City will come to the river for a walk at night. Because Li Mengyao's home was far from the river, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao drove there in a Maybach. When they arrived at the river, Lin Xuan parked the car, took Li Mengyao's hand, and the two walked along the river together. The banks of Jingshui River are bustling with people, and everyone coming and going has a smile on their face. The river water ripples under the light, and it complements the neon lights on the shore, full of life. Life here is really comfortable. Lin Xuan admired the night view of Jingshui River and sighed. Yes, I like this small fourth-tier city very much. There is no hustle and bustle of first-tier cities, only a leisurely life and a peaceful atmosphere. Li Mengyao smiled sweetly at Lin Xuan. We can always come back after the house in Times Garden is renovated. Lin Xuan pinched Li Mengyao's little hand and said with a smile. Well, I used to come here to play when I was a kid. I remember there was a kind old man selling candied horse here. They used to give me a candied horse on a small bamboo stick. Li Mengyao kept recalling her childhood, and Lin Xuan listened quietly beside her. Strolling along the river, they soon passed an ice cream shop. This is an internet-famous store in Jingshui City. Because the ice cream they make tastes delicious, there are many people queuing up every night. Honey, do you want some ice cream? Li Mengyao looked at the ice cream in the store, her stomach growled and her face turned red. I want to tilde. Because Li Mengyao had morning sickness in the afternoon, she had no appetite for dinner and didn't eat much. Now I'm out for a walk, I'll get hungry soon. Lin Xuan took Li Mengyao to the ice cream shop. Because there were still a lot of people queuing, Lin Xuan took Li Mengyao to an empty seat. Honey, please take a seat first. I'll go line up to buy. What flavor do you want? Lin Mengyao took Lin Xuan's hand and shook it gently, saying with a smile. I want strawberry flavor. Thank you for your hard work, husband. Lin Xuan took Li Mengyao's little hand and gave her a kiss on the back of her hand. It smelled sweet. Good. Li Mengyao quickly pulled her hand back, her face flushed. How could this guy be so shameless as to kiss her in public? Lin Xuan smiled and started queuing up at the back. Seeing that the line was still very long, Li Mengyao picked up her phone and started watching videos. Liu Yusen, my big Yao Yao, where are you now? I'm here to play with you. Li Mengyao, I'm in Jingshui City, do you want to come? Liu Yusen, why did you come home suddenly? Li Mengyao, take my husband home. Liu Yusen, are you calling me hubby now? You're not married yet. Li Mengyao, almost. Liu Yusen, so auntie has agreed. Didn't break his legs. Li Mengyao, don't talk nonsense, my mother has already agreed. Liu Yusen, girls are useless when they grow up. You are just a freeloader. Okay, you are gone and I will play by myself. I won't eat your dog food. Li Mengyao replied with a little bear nodding emoticon. Just after finishing chatting with Liu Yusen, a boy sat opposite Li Mengyao. The boy was quite handsome, dressed neatly, and had the fluffy Korean hairstyle that was very fashionable recently. He smiled and chatted with Li Mengyao. Hello, beautiful lady, can you add me your contact information? Li Mengyao took a look and said politely. Excuse me, I have a husband. The boy saw that Li Mengyao still looked like a student and there was no so-called husband next to her, so he guessed that it must be made up. We are very compatible, so we just added each other's contact information. Seeing that he was still not giving in, Li Mengyao said with cold eyes. Please stop bothering me, I told you I have. Didn't she say she had a husband? I do. Lin Xuan rushed over at this time, staring fiercely at the man who was flirting with his wife. Li Mengyao immediately took Lin Xuan's hand and hid behind him. The boy looked at the person in front of him who was taller and more handsome than him, and knowing that he couldn't compete with him, he walked away dejectedly. Honey, next time you meet someone who's trying to flirt with you, just call me and I'll come right over. Lin Xuan smiled and handed the extra-large strawberry sundae in his hand to Li Mengyao. Well, why did you only buy one? And there are so many. I can't finish them. Li Mengyao nodded and smiled sweetly. Eat slowly. Lin Xuan touched Li Mengyao's little head, then held her hand and continued walking along the river. Li Mengyao looked at the extra-large strawberry sundae in front of her, thought about it, and took out her mobile phone to take a picture and sent it to her good friend Liu Yusen. Liu Yusen? Li Mengyao, it's delicious tilde. Liu Yusen, Yao Yao, please behave yourself. When Liu Yusen had a boyfriend in college, she showed her love to Li Mengyao every day and kept encouraging Li Mengyao to find one. Now that they have broken up, it is Li Mengyao's turn to show her love to Liu Yusen. Li Mengyao adjusted her hair and raised the corners of her mouth slightly. Lin Xuan saw his wife grinning at her phone and asked curiously, "What's so funny?" Li Mengyao came back to her senses and looked at Lin Xuan with an innocent face. "No. Nothing. I can't finish it." Li Mengyao looked at the strawberry sundae that she had eaten half of and looked very embarrassed. "Then give it to your husband. I'll take care of it." Lin Xuan smiled gently. "Did you want to eat my?" Li Mengyao, realizing Lin Xuan's plan, was too embarrassed to continue speaking. She could only glare at Lin Xuan and handed the strawberry sundae in her hand to Lin Xuan. After Lin Xuan got it, he started eating it in big mouthfuls and swallowed it in no time. The two continued walking along the river, and soon Li Mengyao felt a little tired. "Honey, I'm a little sleepy, let's go back." Li Mengyao pulled Lin Xuan's little hand. "Okay, let's go back the same way." Just as the two were about to go back, an old man was guarding his candid horse stall on the bustling street, waiting for customers with a smile on his face. "That's the grandfather who often gave me candid horse when I was a child," Li Mengyao said excitedly. "Then let's go buy a bunch of candid horse. I think he only has one string left, so let the old man close the stall early." Lin Xuan looked at Li Mengyao gently. Tilde. Lin Xuan walked forward holding Li Mengyao's hand. "Grandpa, how much do you sell this candid horse?" Lin Xuan could feel that Li Mengyao was very happy. $3 a string. I want a bunch. Grandpa, do you still remember me? Li Mengyao smiled and looked very happy. The grandfather selling candid horse looked up at the girl in front of him. He felt that she was familiar and suddenly remembered her. "Are you the little girl who often ate my candid horse when we were little?" Chapter 22. The babies will grow up quickly. It's me. I didn't expect Grandpa still remembered me. Li Mengyao's eyes were curved with joy. Har, how could I not remember? When I was little, many kids gathered around me to buy candid horse. You just stood not far away and drooled at the sight. Grandpa Tang Hulu smiled kindly, with his brows narrowed into slits at the corners of his eyes. Li Mengyao said a little embarrassedly, "I was just greedy." Grandpa Tang Hulu. "So I always leave a candid horse for you, har. Hey, I'll give you the last bunch of strawberry candid horse. Because most candid horse are made from hawthorn, and pregnant women should try not to eat hawthorn-based foods as they will have adverse effects on the body. But if it is candid horse made from fruit, such as the strawberry candid horse in front of you, pregnant women can eat it." Li Mengyao waved her hands quickly. No, let's buy it." Lin Xuan took out his mobile phone and scanned the code. "Yes, Grandpa, we will buy it, thank you for taking care of her when she was a child." Grandpa Tang Hulu looked at the two people holding hands tightly and smiled with satisfaction. "I just felt sorry for you back then. You looked so cute with your two braids. It reminded me of my own granddaughter, har. Here, your candid horse." As he said this, he handed the last string of candid horse to Li Mengyao. "Thank you, Grandpa." Li Mengyao was as happy as a little child, smiling from ear to ear. When Lin Xuan left, he secretly left 100 yuan for Tang Hulu Grandpa to thank him for taking care of Li Mengyao. Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao continued to return the same way. On the way, Li Mengyao ate candid horse while holding Lin Xuan's hand, swinging it up and down, as if they were back in their childhood. "Wife, is it delicious?" Lin Xuan smiled. "It's delicious. It still tastes like when I was a kid. It hasn't changed at all." Li Mengyao nodded happily, then looked up blankly and asked Lin Xuan, "Do you want to eat?" Lin Xuan looked at the candid horse that Li Mengyao handed to him and smiled. "I just ate, you eat." "Oh." Li Mengyao continued to taste her candid horse, which were sour and sweet and full of flavor. "There's only one left." Are you sure you don't want to eat it? Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xuan and blinked her elegant eyes gently. No. Lin Xuan said in a firm tone, and kept looking at Li Mengyao's tempting cherry lips. Li Mengyao always felt that Lin Xuan had bad intentions, but she was too naive to think of anything and just decided not to eat. Then he stuffed the last candied horse into his mouth. After holding it for a while, his cheeks were about to puff up when Lin Xuan suddenly spoke with a smile. Wife, I want to eat candied horse now. There are no more. Li Mengyao looked at the gourd skewer in her hand and shook her pretty head and said. Isn't there another one? There's another one. There's another one in my mouth. Li Mengyao suddenly realized something and quickly reached out to cover her mouth. You can't, mmm. But someone got there first. Lin Xuan put one arm around Li Mengyao and held her in his arms. With the other hand, he lifted Li Mengyao's chin and leaned over to kiss her seductive lips. This caused Li Mengyao to push hard. She looked around and luckily there was no one around. Then she looked at Lin Xuan angrily. Why did you steal my candied horse? I like to eat sweet candied horse. Lin Xuan said shamelessly. Li Mengyao was so angry that she raised her hand to twist Lin Xuan's waist. It hurts. Stop twisting it. I already have several scars on my waist. Lin Xuan, who was smiling playfully in the last second, turned into a ferocious look in the next. Snort. Li Mengyao pouted and turned her little face slightly away from Lin Xuan. Okay, wife, I know I was wrong. Let's go back quickly. Lin Xuan coaxed. Every time you say you know you're wrong, you do the same thing next time. Li Mengyao scolded angrily and continued not to look at Lin Xuan directly. This girl wouldn't be really angry, right? Lin Xuan suddenly felt that the candied horse in his mouth were no longer sweet. After a while, Li Mengyao turned around and looked at the bewildered idiot Lin Xuan, and burst out laughing. Are you scared? Li Mengyao gently patted Lin Xuan with her little hand. I'm scared, wife. Lin Xuan also smiled. Next time, don't suddenly. Okay, we can kiss each other again when we get home. Li Mengyao stared at him with her eyes as bright as a deer and spoke softly. Okay. Lin Xuan agreed readily without any hesitation. The two finally returned to the parking place. After Lin Xuan sent Li Mengyao to the passenger seat, he returned to the driver's seat, started the car, and drove towards home. In the car, Li Mengyao looked at her little belly and asked Lin Xuan. Honey, do you think this is a boy or a girl? Is it possible that there is one boy and one girl? Lin Xuan replied with a smile while driving steadily. How can we be so lucky to have twins, a boy and a girl, all at once? Li Mengyao raised her beautiful eyebrows and smiled happily. It's almost 3 months. The baby needs to grow up quickly. Li Mengyao gently stroked her soft belly. Wife, I want to touch it too. Lin Xuan glanced and said enviously. Let's talk about it when we get home. Drive carefully and don't look around. Li Mengyao blushed. Soon, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao returned downstairs to their home. After Lin Xuan parked the car, he took Li Mengyao's hand and prepared to go home. Li Mengyao looked at who was standing at the door of her house, holding a bouquet of flowers. When she got closer, she saw that it was Li Jie. Li Jie was the class monitor of Li Mengyao's high school and had been pursuing Li Mengyao, but Li Mengyao didn't like him and had clearly rejected him several times. However, Li Jie felt that since Li Mengyao didn't have a boyfriend, he had a chance, so he kept pestering her. Later, Li Mengyao simply ignored him. When Li Jie saw Li Mengyao holding a man's hand and getting out of a luxury Maybach, his fists clenched, but he still tried to keep smiling. It seems that what Chen Tingting said is true, Li Mengyao really has a boyfriend. Mengyao, I heard you were back, why didn't you tell me? These flowers are for you. Li Jie handed the flowers to Li Mengyao with a smile, completely ignoring Lin Xuan. Li Mengyao frowned when she saw that it was Li Jie. Li Jie, why are you here at my doorstep? I've said before that we're not suitable. Please give the flowers to someone else. Thank you. After saying that, he was about to hold Lin Xuan's hand and prepare to go home. Unexpectedly, Li Jie blocked Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao again and shouted anxiously. Mengyao, can't you give me a chance? I have been hired by a well-known company in Jinghai City. My parents are both working. We will have a good life in Jinghai City in the future. Li Mengyao's eyes were cold and she interrupted angrily. I'll say it again, there's no chance for us, and I already have a husband, get out of the way. It was the first time that Lin Xuan saw Li Mengyao so angry. Looking at Li Jie, who was still not giving in, he clenched his fists. But, it hurts. Li Jie wanted to explain, but Lin Xuan reached out and grabbed Li Jie's arm and twisted it hard to hold him down. After receiving the first reward from the system to enhance his physical fitness, Lin Xuan's strength has far exceeded that of ordinary people. I've made it very clear. If you dare to harass my wife again, I won't be so polite next time. Get lost. Then Lin Xuan kicked Li Jie's butt hard, and Li Jie fell flat on his face. Chapter 23 Husband, you are the best. Li Jie got up in a panic, his face grim, and he watched Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao leave with gritted teeth. He will not give up easily. He has been pursuing it for so many years and has become obsessed with it. Then he limped away. After Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao returned, as it was already late, they quickly washed up and lay down on the bed. Li Mengyao was quietly looking at her phone, while Lin Xuan was staring at his wife in a daze. Li Mengyao quickly noticed something unusual, put down her phone, turned around, hugged Lin Xuan, and raised her head. Honey, what are you thinking about? You keep staring at me. Although they haven't gotten married yet, it feels natural for Li Mengyao to call him husband now. It's just a matter of time anyway. Lin Xuan came back to his senses, stretched out his arms and hugged Li Mengyao tightly, saying gently, I was wondering why my wife is so popular. The aunt's son this morning, the boy in the ice cream shop in the evening, and the man downstairs just now. 3 people wanted to steal my wife in just one day. It's infuriating just thinking about it. Li Mengyao was a little helpless but couldn't hide her gentle smile. Is that why you did this? This is out of my control. They insisted on coming up to me, and there was nothing I could do. Lin Xuan smiled and lowered his head, touching his forehead with hers, showing his signature smile. Then I'll have to keep a closer eye on it next time. Sure enough, a barrage of kisses followed, first on her forehead, then moving to the tip of her nose, and finally stopping on her lips. Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao continued to stay in Jinghai city for a few more days. After arranging the decoration and furniture placement of Times Garden, they prepared to set off back to Jinghai city today. The 3 of them went downstairs. Huang Shifang looked at Lin Xuan taking such good care of his daughter, smiled with relief, and handed the household registration book in her hand to Li Mengyao. Yao Yao, take this household registration booklet and remember to come back often. Li Mengyao stared blankly at the household registration booklet in her hand. She realized what her mother meant and her eyes felt sore. Seeing this, Lin Xuan took Li Mengyao's hand and said in a firm tone, Auntie, don't worry, we will come back often. Ripples appeared on Li Mengyao's face. Yeah, Mom, we will definitely come back often. Huang Shifang's eyes also turned slightly red, and she spoke gently. Mom knows, be careful on the road. After Lin Xuan helped Li Mengyao sit firmly in the back seat, he walked into the driver's seat, started the Maybach, and slowly left. Huang Shifang could no longer hold back her tears. She and her daughter had depended on each other for more than 10 years, and now she was going to get married. In the Maybach car, Li Mengyao was also crying with red eyes. Lin Xuan was driving quietly in front. Knowing the hardship of the mother and daughter, he did not go out of his way to comfort them and gave them some time. Soon, 4 hours passed. The dark and slender Maybach drove into the parking lot of Jinghai mansion again. After Lin Xuan parked the car steadily, he walked out of the door and went to the back seat. Not long after Li Mengyao got on the car, she fell asleep while crying. Now she is sleeping quietly like a cute little girl. Lin Xuan gently picked up Li Mengyao and slowly walked towards the elevator. Soon the beauty in his arms woke up, and their eyes met, looking at Lin Xuan in a daze. Awake! Lin Xuan said with a doting look in his eyes. Hurry, put me down. Li Mengyao's pretty face turned red. We're still outside, it would be embarrassing if someone saw us. It's okay, there's no one here. As he spoke, Lin Xuan walked into the elevator and pressed the button for the 16th floor. The elevator rose slowly and suddenly stopped at the first floor. The elevator door opened and an old lady and an old man came in. The old lady looked at the 2 of them with a smile on her face. At this time, Li Mengyao was so embarrassed that she buried her head in Lin Xuan's chest and used her little hands to pull her hair up to cover her red face. Finally made it to the 16th floor. The elevator was particularly slow today. After getting out of the elevator, Li Mengyao struggled to get down quickly, and Lin Xuan also slowly let her go. Li Mengyao angrily hit the still smiling Lin Xuan with her little hand, but she didn't dare to use too much force, as she would feel bad if she hurt herself. The two finally returned to their home in Jinghai Prefecture. As soon as Lin Xuan returned home, he started cleaning. Li Mengyao also joined in and did what she could. Originally Lin Xuan disagreed and wanted her to rest, but Li Mengyao insisted on joining together, otherwise she would not let Lin Xuan kiss her tonight. This is simply a trump card for Lin Xuan. He has no choice but to let Li Mengyao do some of the light work. It is not tiring for men and women to work together, and the house is soon cleaned up. In the past few days since returning, Li Mengyao has been preparing for her graduation thesis defense. The two are still senior students and must pass the graduation defense with their university advisor before they can officially graduate. On the other hand, Lin Xuan acted as if nothing had happened, playing here and there. At night, Lin Xuan was staring at his 70-inch big screen in the hall, watching a movie with great interest. Li Mengyao walked out of the room, hugged Lin Xuan, rested her chin on his shoulder, and asked curiously, "Hubby, you don't have to prepare for your graduation defense." Lin Xuan looked at his lovely wife in his arms and couldn't help but lean over and kiss her soft face. "Your husband is not talented, but because he performed so well before, he has been exempted from the graduation defense and can graduate directly." Li Mengyao puffed up her cheeks and complained. Why is this happening?" Lin Xuan couldn't stop smiling. "Your husband is very good, don't you know that?" Li Mengyao hooked her small hands around Lin Xuan's neck and gently bit his face. "I know, husband, you are the best." After saying that, he quickly distanced himself from the others and ran back to the room with his legs clattering. Lin Xuan touched the faintly visible tooth marks on his face, and the corners of his mouth slightly raised. Chapter 24. You have been laughing and never stopped. The day of graduation defense soon arrived. The sun was shining brightly, the air was fresh, and the birds were singing happily on the branches, as if they were celebrating for the students who were about to graduate. Li Mengyao's graduation defense was scheduled for the afternoon. In order to be in a good state, she took a nap after lunch. After a short nap, she got up early and began to dress herself up carefully. She was wearing a snow-white shirt with the collar slightly open, revealing her slender neck and delicate collarbone. She wore a black long skirt on her lower body, the hem of which swayed gently with her steps, like a dancing butterfly. Her shiny black hair falls on her shoulders like a waterfall, exuding a faint fragrance. Li Mengyao walked up to Lin Xuan, turned around lightly, and asked with a bright smile on her face, "Honey, does this look good?" Lin Xuan couldn't help but go forward and hug Li Mengyao, sniffing the charming fragrance emanating from her body. He whispered, "It looks good. My wife looks good in anything she wears." Li Mengyao angrily scolded, "Smooth talk. Okay, let's go." Lin Xuan showed his signature smile again. "Can I come in and watch you defend your graduation thesis?" Li Mengyao hurriedly shook her head and said firmly, "No. I'd get nervous." "Okay, stop messing around, we're going to be late." Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao walked out of the room and came to the parking lot of Jinghai Mansion. Lin Xuan still chose to drive his Xiaohe, the name Lin Xuan gave to their Maybach. After a while, Lin Xuan drove the Maybach to the school parking lot. Because Li Mengyao was majoring in Chinese language and literature, Lin Xuan took Li Mengyao's hand and came to the teaching building of the School of Arts, found a corresponding classroom, and looked inside. There were 5 tutors sitting in the first row, and the back was filled with flustered students. Lin Xuan said to Li Mengyao gently, "Go ahead, don't be nervous, I'll wait for you at the door." In fact, with Li Mengyao's for years of hard work in college, she had basically no pressure in dealing with this graduation thesis defense, but she was more or less nervous when facing 5 mentors picking on her. Li Mengyao looked at Lin Xuan with a red face. "Well, kiss me, I won't be nervous anymore." Lin Xuan was also stunned. Why was his wife so proactive today? Then he hugged Li Mengyao and kissed her gently on the forehead. "Go ahead." Li Mengyao smiled and walked into the classroom happily. Do you really think Lin Xuan would be so honest? He had never seen Li Mengyao giving a speech in the classroom, and Lin Xuan showed his signature smile again. Lin Xuan returned to the parking lot and took out a black hat from Maybach. After putting on his hat, Lin Xuan returned to the room where Li Mengyao was holding her graduation defense. He sneaked into the classroom from the back door and sat in the last row. It was difficult to notice him without careful observation. I saw Li Mengyao in front of me, still closing her eyes to relax. Lin Xuan picked up his phone and started taking photos. If he missed this opportunity, it would be gone. It was his fault that he met Li Mengyao in his last year of college. After an unknown amount of time, Li Mengyao finally walked up to the podium. Unlike her usual weakness, Li Mengyao was quite confident on the podium. Her language was fluent and well organized, and her beautiful face was filled with a confident smile. With her profound Chinese language and cultural background and excellent expression ability, she won high praise from the instructors present. Lin Xuan quickly took out his cell phone and took pictures. As expected of a school beauty, she is beautiful and outstanding in her studies. Yeah, but I heard that the school beauty seems to have a boyfriend. Oh my god, which freshman snatched our school beauty away? It seems to be from our school. Lin Xuan heard a few boys next to him discussing, and they were all smiling. Hey, classmate, what are you laughing at? The boy next to him asked curiously. Did I laugh? Lin Xuan said with a smile. You've been laughing all the time and never stopped, said another boy. I thought of something happy. Lin Xuan raised the corners of his mouth. What's so funny? Tell me about it. At this time, Li Mengyao had completed her graduation defense and returned to her seat to pack her things. Seeing that his wife was about to come out, Lin Xuan quickly ran away. Classmates, I have something to do and I'm leaving first. Come on guys. After saying that, he sneaked out of the classroom through the back door. This person doesn't seem to be from our college, strange. Several people continued to discuss. Lin Xuan walked out of the classroom, looked at his phone as if nothing had happened, and stood at the door waiting for Li Mengyao. His handsome figure is as straight as a pine tree, and his handsome face with a smile attracts the attention of the girls around him. Finally, a girl couldn't help but come forward. Hello classmate, can you add me to your contact information so we can get to know each other? This female classmate has a sweet appearance, a petite figure, and a charming smile, which makes it easy for people to like her. Sorry, I already have. Lin Xuan just opened his mouth to refuse. Suddenly, a figure appeared beside them. Li Mengyao held Lin Xuan's hand, her eyes slightly colder. Sorry classmate, he already has a girlfriend. When the female classmates saw that it was the school belle, they felt overshadowed by the comparison and left in shame. Wife, did your graduation defense go well? Lin Xuan said with a smile. It wasn't going well. I saw you with another girl when I came out. Li Mengyau's face fell, and she looked unhappy. It's unfair, my dear wife. I just arrived at the classroom door not long ago. Lin Xuan quickly protested. Who knows you? Li Mengyao pouted, looking serious. I have a way to prove my innocence. Lin Xuan said seriously. What method? Li Mengyao of course saw that the girl went to talk to Lin Xuan first, but she still wanted to tease him. Lin Xuan took out his cell phone and found the photos of Li Mengyao he had just taken in the classroom. Li Mengyao in the photo is beautiful and exudes an elegant temperament. You were peeking again. Li Mengyao then realized that Lin Xuan had been wearing a black hat, which looked quite handsome. But she was still angry, so she stretched out her little hand and touched Lin Xuan's waist. Lin Xuan took the opportunity to hug Li Mengyao and let her pinch him, since he had thick skin anyway. I just want to see you in class and experience what it's like to take classes with you. I won't have the chance to do that again. Lin Xuan continued gently. After the graduation defense, there will be the graduation ceremony, and generally you will not come back to class. Okay then, send me the photos. Li Mengyao's cheeks turned red, she spoke softly and raised her head slightly. Good. Lin Xuan sent the picture to Li Mengyao, and also sent it to a group chat of a loving family. Zhang Shulan, my daughter-in-law is so beautiful. Lin Jinghua, you are indeed my son. Your vision is the same as mine when I was young. Lin Cici, this is my sister-in-law. Zhang Shulan, Cici, you're playing with your phone at school. You're so rebellious. Lin Cici, sorry, I sent this to the wrong person. I'm not Cici. Lin Xuan, speechless expression. At this time, several boys who had just been discussing next to Lin Xuan also came out of the classroom. Seeing the school beauty being hugged by a handsome boy, they gritted their teeth. It seems that the news that the school beauty already has a boyfriend is true. Wait, no, isn't he the boy who was smiling next to us just now? Damn it, no wonder you're always giggling. Chapter 25. That's not my boyfriend, that's my husband. You just said you wanted to experience what it's like to take classes with me, right? Li Mengyao rolled her eyes, tilted her head and smiled sweetly. Yes. Lin Xuan said. Then let's go to the school cafeteria for dinner. You and I have never eaten together at school. Li Mengyao raised her beautiful eyebrows and raised her head proudly. No, it's not clean outside. Lin Xuan shook his head. Oh, it's just once. Besides, the school should be clean compared to the outside. Li Mengyao continued to act coquettishly. Lin Xuan was still frowning and hesitating. Li Mengyao took Lin Xuan's hand and started walking towards the cafeteria. Come on, come on. I'm hungry. If you don't leave, I'll go alone. Lin Xuan had no choice but to agree. Soon, the two arrived at the Meiyuan canteen, which had the best reputation in the school. It was already time for dinner, and students from Jinghai University came to the cafeteria one after another to eat. Auntie, I want to order scrambled eggs with tomatoes, braised fish, broccoli with shrimp, and 2 fried chicken legs. Auntie, please stop shaking your hands. This is the last time we'll come to the cafeteria to eat at the university. Li Mengyao was as happy as a little child, speaking with a smile. Okay, Auntie will give you more. Auntie gave Li Mengyao a larger amount than usual. Then Lin Xuan ordered a few dishes at random, and the two of them went to a corner of the cafeteria and started eating. This is delicious. I used to come to Meiyuan to eat it often. As she spoke, Li Mengyao put half of the braised fish and a fried chicken leg into Lin Xuan's bowl. No wonder I hardly saw you in college. Lin Xuan's dormitory and classes are both on the south side of the school, and he also eats in the bamboo garden in the south. Li Mengyao's is just the opposite, on the north side, and the plum garden is the cafeteria in the north of the school. Jinghai University covers a large area, and Lin Xuan is a lazy person who would never go to the north of the school unless he has nothing better to do. But I've seen you. Li Mengyao said in a low voice. What did you say, wife? Because there were more and more people in the cafeteria, Li Mengyao spoke very quietly, so I couldn't hear clearly. Nothing, nothing, come, have a bite. Li Mengyao picked up a shrimp and handed it to Lin Xuan's mouth, who swallowed it in one gulp. Lin Xuan also picked up a piece of braised pork and gave it to Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao ate it in small bites, only biting off half of it, and the rest was swallowed by Lin Xuan. When the two of them were feeding each other, they had already become the objects of other students' attention. Look, isn't that the campus beauty of our university? Is the guy next to him his boyfriend? Damn it, how come my goddess already has a boyfriend? You know what, that guy is pretty handsome. He's so handsome, he doesn't deserve it. Hurry up and take a picture of it, post it on the campus intelligence network, and make that guy the public enemy of all the boys at Jinghai University. Snap. The photo of the two feeding each other was posted to the campus intelligence network of Jinghai University. Title, shocking. The campus beauty of Jinghai University is eating in the cafeteria with her boyfriend. Who is that bastard next to our school beauty? The school beauty has a boyfriend, my heart is broken. It's just a boyfriend. I still have a chance, doghead. Isn't he this the great Lin Xuan from our School of Computer Science? Are we all going to the Institute of Finance together tomorrow? While Lin Xuan was eating dinner, he felt countless hostile gazes on his back, which made him feel a little cold. At this time, Lin Xuan's cell phone rang. 622 Fantong Group. Zhu Quan, Brother Xian, you have been exposed. Zhang Zishan, remember to wear a mask in school in the future. This is a friendly reminder. Chen Jingming, har ha har har Brother Xian, you're done. Lin Xuan, what's going on? Zhu Quan, pictures, pictures. It was the photo of Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao showing their affection. What a mistake. I have to be more low-key when I return to school next time. Li Mengyao saw that Lin Xuan ignored her and kept looking at his phone, so she scolded him. Lin Xuan, what are you looking at? You are ignoring me. I have become the public enemy of all the boys in Jinghai University, Lin Xuan said with a helpless smile. Why? Li Mengyao blinked in confusion. Look, it's all because my wife is too beautiful. Lin Xuan took out his cell phone and opened the campus intelligence network to show Li Mengyao. Li Mengyao covered her mouth and burst out laughing. Then I can't help you. You're on your own. Soon, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao finished their dinner and walked hand in hand around the campus. At this time, Lin Xuan still looked worried, fearing that he would suddenly be hit by a hammer from behind. He still believed in Li Mengyao's charm, but he was afraid that some people could not stand the stimulation and became obsessed. Honey, do you want me to help you? Seeing that Lin Xuan was still nervous, Li Mengyao kept laughing. How can you help? Lin Xuan looked at Li Mengyao expectantly. Call me sister and I will help you. Li Mengyao tucked her hair behind her ears and smiled happily. She had seen Lin Xuan's ID card. Although they were born in the same year, Li Mengyao was a few months older than Lin Xuan. A few months was still older, so she should call her sister. No. Lin Xuan's face rarely turned red. Calling his wife sister was a big deal. It was too embarrassing. I'm older than you. What's wrong with calling me sister? Just call me One. Li Mengyao pouted and acted coquettishly and cutely. Call One and I will give you a reward. Li Mengyao continued to increase the stakes and looked at Lin Xuan with anticipation. Real? Yeah, well, I can help you solve the school crisis and get a reward at the same time, killing two birds with one stone. Li Mengyao walked up to Lin Xuan, hugged him, raised her head and smiled slightly. If you don't call me, I will hold you and not leave. Lin Xuan looked away with his blushing cheeks and said something softly. Elder sister. He, my brother is so good. Li Mengyao's eyes were curved with joy. She stretched out her arms to hug Lin Xuan's neck, kissed him on the lips, and then quickly withdrew. Usually Lin Xuan makes her shy, but she didn't expect that she could win a game today. She is so happy. Is this the reward? Lin Xuan touched his mouth. Yes, I don't like it. Li Mengyao blinked her elegant eyes slightly. I like it, but it's too short. Lin Xuan said gently. Still in school. The two continued to hang out in the school, and Lin Xuan continued to receive hatred from the boys across the street, which seemed to be more serious than before. Wife, didn't you just say you wanted to help me? Lin Xuan asked. I helped. You can take a look at the school information network. Li Mengyao pursed her lips and smiled. Lin Xuan took out his cell phone, opened the school information network, and immediately saw a pinned comment that was posted by Li Mengyao. That's not my boyfriend, that's my husband. Chapter 26, I saved the galaxy in my previous life. What? He's already your husband. A newborn. A fucking newborn. I didn't stand a chance, crying. Brothers, it's time to unite and take down this man. Lin Xuan looked at the campus intelligence network and felt a chill in his heart. Wife, you. At this time, Li Mengyao took advantage of the fact that Lin Xuan was looking at his mobile phone and secretly walked to the front, looking back at Lin Xuan every 10 steps. Wife, you still want to run? Lin Xuan started running to catch up with Li Mengyao. Don't come over here. Har har har. When Li Mengyao saw that the truth was revealed, she also started to jog forward. One runs in front and the other chases behind. Two cheerful laughs were heard in the silent campus. Because Li Mengyao was still pregnant, she didn't run fast, so Lin Xuan caught up with her easily, hugged her and spoke gently. Don't run around, be careful. Li Mengyao tidied her messy hair and showed a charming smile. The campus under the night sky, flowers, plants and trees appear particularly quiet and mysterious under the moonlight. On campus during graduation season, Lin Xuan and Li Mengyao walked hand in hand. Under the moonlight, every step was filled with sweetness. After the graduation defense, after 3 or 4 days of careful teaching by Lin Xuan, Li Mengyao can already drive skillfully in the city. In addition, the Xiaomi SU7 has an automatic parking function, so there is no need to worry about not being able to park. Today, Li Mengyao's university dormitory held a farewell dinner, which was also the last meal after graduation from university. Since they were all girls, Lin Xuan felt embarrassed to go with them, so Li Mengyao drove there by herself. When Lin Xuan was training Li Mengyao to drive, he found that the girl learned to drive quite quickly and steadily. Moreover, smart cars like Xiaomi SU7 also have intelligent driving and emergency avoidance functions, so he agreed. Honey, I'm going out. Li Mengyao wore a simple white dress, highlighting her elegant temperament. She happily ran to Lin Xuan and kissed him lightly on the lips. Just as she was about to leave, Lin Xuan pulled her into his arms and kissed her cherry lips with light lipstick on them. I don't know how long it took. Come back early, Lin Xuan said with a grin. Li Mengyao touched her hot face and slightly red mouth, and did not forget to reply before leaving. Bad husband. Li Mengyao came to the parking lot, walked to the front of the Xiaomi SU7, sat in the driver's seat, started the car skillfully, and did not forget to take out a small mirror to touch up her lipstick, which was all eaten by Lin Xuan. Soon, Li Mengyao arrived at the dormitory building of Jinghai University and picked up 3 roommates whom she had not seen for a long time. Chen Manman, wow, Yao Yao, we haven't seen each other for just a few months and you're already driving a car. It's not cheap at all. Yang Lin, yeah, tell me, we saw you making a high-profile confession yesterday. Only Liu Yusin, who was standing by, knew all this, but she also joined in the joke. Yes, our Yao Yao has a husband and has forgotten her sisters. Li Mengyao blushed slightly when she was teased by her roommate and quickly changed the subject. Stop talking, hurry up and decide where to eat. I'm hungry. Well, the one we ate at last time was pretty good, but it seems like there's a new gourmet restaurant opening nearby. It's over, I have a fear of making choices. I think that one is better. No, I think the other one is better. In this way, the 4 people argued in the car for more than 10 minutes, and finally decided by voting. On the other hand, Lin Xuan had nothing to do at home. Thinking that the luxury store given by the system had not yet opened, he decided to go to Jinwan Plaza to post a job opening, and the first thing he wanted to do was to recruit a store manager. The store manager is responsible for all matters in the store, including the operation of the restaurant, the recruitment of chefs and waiters, and the decoration design. In this way, Lin Xuan can be a hands-off manager and be a boss at ease. Lin Xuan immediately drove his Maybach to Jinwan Plaza, printed out a recruitment information and posted it on the door of a luxury store. Later, Lin Xuan felt that this way of recruiting people was too old-fashioned, so he put a job recruitment information on the mobile recruitment app, offering a monthly salary of 20,000 yuan, with 5 insurances and 1 housing fund. This condition should attract many people. After everything was done, Lin Xuan drove home. On the other side, Li Mengyao was having dinner with her 3 good sisters. Li Mengyao told her roommates what had happened in the past few months, but of course she didn't tell them about her pregnancy. Your boyfriend is so nice. Yang Lin sighed. Yes, she is pretty, cooks every day, and is very loyal. Chen Manman agreed. Only Liu Yusin remained silent, because she knew what was going on, although Lin Xuan was indeed a very good person. Hey, Yao Yao, why do you call me husband when we're not even married? Did he propose to you? Liu Yusin couldn't help but ask. Not yet, not yet. I'll get used to it after being called that many times. Li Mengyao's cheeks turned red instantly. You are really infatuated, my big Yao Yao. Chen Manman said with a smile. I remember you had a crush on him during your freshman year. Now your dream has finally come true. By the way, Yao Yao, this kind of good man is very popular, you have to keep a close eye on him. Yang Lin reminded. Yeah. Li Mengyao also nodded shyly. How can I not keep a close eye on her? We already have a child, and my Yao Yao has become someone else's. Liu Yusin complained helplessly in her heart. Okay, we finally graduated. I wish us a bright future. Cheers. The 4 little girls took their drinks and drank them all. After Li Mengyao and her good sisters had eaten and drunk their fill, Li Mengyao sent them back to the dormitory, then drove to Jinwan Plaza and came to a jewelry store. Lin Xuan is indeed too easy to attract a lot of men. He met one at the door of the classroom yesterday. He has to find something to prove that he is taken. So Li Mengyao thought of men's rings. Welcome, beautiful lady, how can I help you? A tall and decent-looking clerk came over. That's right, this is the jewelry store where Lin Xuan bought the diamond ring before, and even the clerk is the same person. Hello, do you have any men's rings to recommend? Li Mengyao asked in a low voice. Yes, please follow me. The clerk guided Li Mengyao to a display cabinet on the side. Men's rings are displayed in the showcase, shining brightly, and each one exudes unique charm. Soon, Li Mengyao fell in love with a men's ring. It was simple yet exquisite in design, with a unique design that showed low-key luxury and elegance. Hello, please help me get this one. Li Mengyao raised her little hand and pointed. Okay, beauty. The clerk then took out the men's ring and handed it to Li Mengyao. Beautiful lady, you have a good taste. This is the latest design, so it fits the aesthetic taste of today's young people. Li Mengyao looked left and right, playing with it back and forth in her hands. It was very beautiful. How much is this one? A total of 18,888. After hearing the price, Li Mengyao gritted her teeth, hesitated slightly, and finally paid. Okay, thank you. Welcome to come next time. The clerk packed the items with a smile on his face, wondering which man was so lucky to have such a beautiful girl buy him a ring. He must have saved the galaxy in his previous life. Chapter 27. I'm afraid you left some of it on purpose. Li Mengyao drove back to Jinghai mansion. Arriving at the door, I stretched out my hand and unlocked it with my fingerprint. Lin Xuan was watching a movie in the living room. When he saw his wife coming back, he was about to speak. Wife, come back. Li Mengyao flashed by and quickly trotted back to the room. Lin Xuan had a big question mark in his mind. What was his wife hiding? She was so mysterious. After Li Mengyao hid the ring she had just bought, she let out a long sigh, patted her face, and then walked out of the room. Honey, I'm back. You were so flustered just now, you must be hiding something. Lin Xuan grabbed Li Mengyao and held her in his arms. No. Nothing. Li Mengyao's pupils suddenly shrank, an obvious nervousness flashed in her eyes. Really nothing. Lin Xuan showed his signature smile. That's a girl's secret, you are not allowed to know it. Li Mengyao blinked her elegant eyes slightly. Oh well. Seeing that his wife refused to speak, Lin Xuan had no choice but to hug her and watch the movie together in the hall. After watching the movie, it was already 11 o'clock in the evening and the two returned to their room to sleep. The next day, a phone call woke Lin Xuan up from his sleep. In order not to disturb his wife's sleep, Lin Xuan walked out of the room to answer the phone. Brother Xuan, are you awake yet? He. Zhu Quan asked. Quaner, why are you calling me so early in the morning? Lin Xuan was a little puzzled. Normally, brothers would send messages to each other and would only call each other when there was something extremely urgent. But as soon as I heard Zhu Quan's laughter, I knew that nothing was wrong. Brother Xuan, are you planning to open a restaurant in Jinwan Plaza? Zhu Quan continued to ask. Yeah, how did you know? Lin Xuan became a little more sober. I saw it on the recruitment software. Brother Xuan, have you found a candidate for the position of store manager? Why are you asking that? Brother Xuan, I want to apply for. Lin Xuan was a little shocked. Didn't Zhu Quan take the civil service exam? Didn't you take the civil service exam? Why do you want to go into business? I didn't pass the exam. I found out that the civil service is really hard to pass nowadays. You don't know, I scored 80 points in the exam, but I didn't even get in for the interview. I heard that the first place got 89 points. Brother Xuan, tell me, how perverted are these people? Zhu Quan complained a lot. Quana, can you do it? Lin Xuan asked with some doubt. Of course I can. My family runs a restaurant. Brother Xuan, why don't you interview me? Zhu Quan said confidently. Okay then. I haven't seen you for a while. Let's wait at the usual place, the coffee shop near the school. Seeing that his brother was so confident, Lin Xuan decided to go and take a look. He knew him well, so maybe he was a good match for him. Okay, Brother Xuan, I'll go order some coffee and wait for you. Zhu Quan said happily. After hanging up the phone, Lin Xuan washed up and returned to the room. Seeing Li Mengyao still sleeping soundly, he walked up to her and gave her a gentle kiss on her smooth forehead. Honey, I'm going out for a while. Okay tilde, Li Mengyao's eyelashes trembled slightly and she responded in a daze. Then Lin Xuan walked out of the house, came to the parking lot, and drove the Maybach towards the school. Soon, Lin Xuan arrived at a coffee shop near the school. After parking the car, he saw Zhu Quan waving happily as soon as he entered the door. Brother Xuan, here. Lin Xuan came and sat down opposite Zhu Quan. Brother Xuan, please interview me. Zhu Quan suddenly said with a serious face. Mr. Zhu Quan, I'm very glad that you are here to apply for the position of store manager. I will ask you a few questions now. Lin Xuan also began to look at Zhu Quan seriously. After asking some simple restaurant operation knowledge. Oh my god, you are really something. Lin Xuan was a little surprised, because he didn't understand much about these things, so he planned to find a store manager to manage the business and just be a hands-off boss himself. Hey, brother Xuan, have you forgotten that my family has always run a restaurant, and I have been working as a handyman in my own restaurant since I was a child? Don't think I can't cook. I can make you a piece of 9-turn large intestine. It's absolutely delicious. Zhu Quan said proudly. No, I'm afraid you left some of it on purpose. Okay then, it's you. Lin Xuan said with a smile. Thank you, brother Xuan. Then when can I start work? Zhu Quan was very happy. After the renovation is completed, I will give you a sum of money for the renovation after a while, and then you can decorate the restaurant first. As for your salary, if the restaurant makes a profit, we'll split it 30% to 70%, 70% for me and 30% for you. If it makes a loss, I'll still pay you 20,000 a month. Really? Brother Xuan, you are so nice to me. Zhu Quan almost jumped up with joy. Don't be too happy too soon. If the restaurant is profitable, everyone will make money. If the loss is too big, I will fire you and then sell the restaurant. Lin Xuan still wants to run this restaurant well, but he is not stupid enough to do business at a loss. He will let Zhu Quan try it first. If it doesn't work out, he can still sell it at a loss. After all, it is given by the system for free, so he will make a profit. Brother Xuan, don't worry, I will definitely run the restaurant well. The two continued to chat and started complaining. Brother Xuan, why am I so unlucky lately? I've been able to get 6 consecutive big wins with Yuanshan recently. I'm really impressed. After hearing this, Lin Xuan choked on the coffee he had just drunk and almost spit it out. Well, Quaner, I think you should change the game. Why did you ask me to change the game? Brother Jingming said the same thing. No, I'll try again later. Brother Xuan, I'm going to go back first and try to finish the restaurant plan tomorrow. Good. Afterwards, Zhu Quan went back to the school dormitory. Seeing that it was still early, Lin Xuan continued to look at his phone while slowly drinking the coffee in his hand. Okay, now the lazy bug is almost up, it's time to go back. Just as Lin Xuan walked out of the coffee shop and was about to leave, a familiar figure appeared in front of Lin Xuan. It was his ex-girlfriend Yi Zishuan. Yi Zishuan and Lin Xuan are in the same class. Yi Zishuan started pursuing Lin Xuan madly in their freshman year because Lin Xuan was handsome. However, after dating for less than half a year, Lin Xuan couldn't stand Yi Zishuan's vanity and chose to break up. At this time, Yi Zishuan had an outstanding appearance. She looked particularly charming in a white shirt and a black skirt. Lin Xuan was a little surprised. He didn't expect to meet Yi Zishuan here. Yi Zishuan also saw Lin Xuan, and a hint of arrogance flashed in her eyes. Lin Xuan had no attachment to Yi Zishuan. He just took one look at her and wanted to leave. What a coincidence, Lin Xuan. Yi Zishuan spoke first. Well, it's indeed a coincidence. Lin Xuan's tone was calm. How have you been lately? Yi Zishuan tried to greet him. It has nothing to do with classmate Yi, right? Lin Xuan responded coldly. Are you so cold to your first love? You're about to graduate. Have you found a good job? By the way, my current boyfriend is the leader of a technology company, and his salary and benefits are very good. Since we know each other, I can help you if you want to go. Yi Zishuan began to show off her boyfriend to suppress Lin Xuan. She just couldn't stand Lin Xuan's arrogant attitude despite having no money. Then congratulations. Lin Xuan just replied coldly and left without looking back.